It's been rainy this week. Thankfully, the rain has cleared out. Kirk, 60 degrees. Interesting makeup of this crowd. Indiana has the edge. Is it 60-40 in crimson over the home team?
It feels like that. It really does. I mean, that was a big thing. A lot of us wondered, with it being here at Miami's home stadium.
It was 95-5 against Oregon and Atlanta.
Yeah. With the demand that Indiana would bring, how many would they get in here?
Hurricanes,
these guys are ready.
Lower seed, wearing their road uniforms. They'll be on the opposite side, not their normal bench in Hard Rock, but they do come out of their normal home team locker room here, packed in tight, Kirk.
Absolutely. Indiana is supposed to go first. They are not loaded and ready yet. Maybe some final messages from Curt Cignetti. Now they're ready to go.
Here come the Hoosiers. Much has been made of the fact they're not stocked with 5 stars, but this is a very experienced team. The average age is pretty close to the average age of a lot of NFL teams.
Veteran group.
24.
They come in on fire, as you said in the open, playing by far their 2 best games that they've had all year on the biggest stages they played on.
2 very different coaching personalities who each were part of Nick Saban's staffs at Alabama. Each was a recruiting coordinator for Saban. It did not overlap, however. (1894), Kirk, the last time a team went 16-0. The Hoosiers have a chance to have one of the great seasons we've ever seen. Cignetti, all business as you'd expect. Here come the Canes. Looking for a 6th national championship under a 5th different head coach. But these players basically weren't alive the last time Miami won one, 2001. Both sides feeling deep emotions, just trying to keep it in check and do their jobs tonight. But there's going to be tears flowing after this, no matter who wins. A lot of them.
See the faith of both these quarterbacks, how important that is. Just trying to get in the right mindset. In fact, both teams.
So much of the game plan, confuse and abuse, as the Indiana defensive coordinator Brian Haynes says. They're in the spotlight for a reason and affecting Mendoza and Beck. Which side can do that best might decide the outcome.
Big part of the result of the game is getting your quarterback to just settle in.
It's Malachi Toney, the electric true freshman for the Canes. Back to John Magrino. The public address announcer will take us through this coin toss. Michael Vanderbilt, the Big 12, is in charge.
For
the
Miami,
Hurricanes.
Michael Irvin. And for Indiana, Adewale Ogunleye, as well as team captains for both teams.
Go ahead and introduce yourselves, fellas. Captains, congratulations on earning the opportunity to compete in the 2026 College Football Playoff National Championship. My name is Michael Vandervelde. I'm your referee. My umpire is D. Sheldon Davis. Honorary captains, thanks for being here as well. Miami, you get to call the toss. Today's coin features the logo of the College Football Playoff as heads. Hard Rock Stadium is tails. Heads, tails. Miami, what is your call?
Tails.
Tails? Tails is called. It is a head. Indiana, you won the toss. Defer, you want the ball. Which way are you kicking? Gentlemen, go ahead and turn your backs here. Indiana won the toss, deferred their choice to the second half. Miami will receive in this end zone. Gentlemen, have a great ball game.
Great to have Molly McGrath and Holly Rowe on the sidelines. Holly is with Kurt Cignetti.
Well, Coach Cignetti is still busy coaching right this second, Chris. Coach, you're going to defer to the second half. You're giving instructions right now. What is the most important thing your line of scrimmage can do to protect your quarterback so he can operate tonight?
Give him time to make his first read and get the ball to number 2 or check down. You know, we've got to, but we got to be balanced on offense. If we can get, you know, which we've been able to do all year long. So they're good. They're going to make their share of plays. We just got to make one more.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Imagine growing up going to games here in this stadium your whole life, painting your face orange and green, and then playing against your beloved Miami Hurricanes. That's Fernando Mendoza's job tonight. He said, I would be selfish if I make this game about me and my hometown. He won't do it. He's going to focus on his teammates. Now let's check in with Molly and Mario Cristobal.
Thank you, Holly. Coach, you came back to Miami for moments like this. How will you and your team manage your emotions tonight?
At the end of the day, take all those emotions and give it a direction and make it a one-in-a-mo mentality for every single play.
All right, thank you, Coach. Good luck. And depth is a serious concern for Miami in their secondary. Xavier Lucas, their starting corner, is going to miss the first half of the targeting suspension. O.J. Frederic will play, but he was limited in practice with a leg injury. So true freshman Jabari Antoine will play a key role at the corner position for the Canes tonight. Chris, Kirk?
They had to grow up quickly against Ole Miss. Some inexperienced guys pressed into duty as the Canes outlasted the Rebels. Here we go. The championship matchup very few could have foreseen. The Hoosiers trying to get to 16-0. The Canes trying to win a 6th national championship. We'll see back in the Canes offense. Brendan Frankie, who's been injured, returns. He's got a huge leg. This is unlikely to be returned by Keelan Marion. He would attempt any long-distance field goals that Cignetti elects to try tonight. Well, check that. He boots it to the 1-yard line and a chance for a return. And Marion breaks through one tackle. He'll be stopped at about the 27-yard line. Tale of two different halves of seasons. We showed you Carson Beck's improvement in the second half in the CFP. 68%, 4 touchdowns, had the touchdown run against Ole Miss. They've won with efficient passing, but more importantly, a powerful running game featuring Mark Fletcher.
Yeah, that's their identity, is running the football. But you never forget that this guy, this is his 43rd career start. So he's seen every defense that you're going to put in him. He really does a good job of seeing the field. Tonight he's got to command the offense and not make mistakes.
On the other side, Aiden Fisher, the middle linebacker, who calls out often opponents' plays as he tries to use his film study, and Fletcher gets the first handoff, and Fletcher off the left side barrels forward, picks up about 9. That's what the Canes have been doing to opponents in the CFP.
No doubt about it. What a way to start for Miami. Just as far as just a confidence builder for this offense. Positive yards with the way Indiana's been playing and dominating the line of scrimmage. That time he just does a nice job of following his instincts and bounces out to the outside where he had some grass. Both the safety and the linebacker converged into the interior, gave him some room to bounce it.
He puts Fletcher over 400 yards so far in the CFP. 1,000-yard rusher on the season. 2nd and 1. They pitch it to the perimeter. Malachi Tony gets a block, and the speedster, the 18-year-old true freshman, good for a first down. Here are your impact players tonight, Kurt.
Well, we just saw both of them.
Yep.
Mark Fletcher's going to have to really establish that line of scrimmage in the run game. Malachi Tony in space will be a challenge for Indiana. Really love the other side of the football. Elijah Hardy's been the leader, one of the great playmakers. They blitz him a bunch, 21 in the middle, and then D'Angelo Pons, who's in this area, has to have a big night in coverage.
He had that pick 6 to electrify the start to that victory. Fletcher off the right side, brought down by Pons, who's from here in Miami.
These impact players are all over the field. Good job there by Pons. Here's our coordinators. Shannon Dawson's done a great job with this offense this year. Bryant Haynes, you could argue right now the hottest defensive coordinator in the game, has this Indiana defense not only playing well, they're just playing sound. They're not making any mistakes. They make you earn everything that you're going to get. And they play a ton of zone, meaning the eyes of that 2nd and 3rd level are on the football for turnovers.
Dawson said how he calls these 2nd down plays is crucial to avoid those 3rd and longs. Beck looking to throw, has plenty of time, retreating, and fires it into the bench. Nobody open. Good coverage by the Hoosiers, and it will be a 3rd and long.
They do a good job with simulated pressure. Instead of rushing here, you're going to drop out into the flat. Beck with that motion, that's where he wants to go. You got a couple different defenders. You can see the confusion with that simulated pressure. They end up really dropping 8. Took away all the throwing lanes. Nowhere to go for Carson Beck. Good decision to just either eat it or get rid of it to set up this 3rd down.
He was very efficient throwing the football on 3rd down at Ole Miss, especially in the game-winning drive. Tony's in the backfield and slips out. He's got the football, but not enough for a 1st down. Tackled immediately. A lot of Hoosier eyes on number 10. Roe Hardy brought him down. It's 4th down.
Yeah, that's exactly what Brian Haynes was hoping to see tonight. Hold up well on early downs, get him to 3rd and long, and then be able to play zone with attacking linebackers and safeties getting downhill. Take away any threat downfield, make them have to throw it in front, and then rally to the football. That's what they've been doing all year, especially the last 2 college football playoff games, and they start the game the same way.
Hoosiers hope they can have a special teams edge tonight. They've blocked 7 punts in the 2 years that Cignetti has been there. 3 of them this year, including 1 against Oregon. Dylan Joyce gets it away. Jonathan Brady retreats and makes a fair catch, but inside the 5-yard line. So a brief drive for the Canes has pinned Indiana back for Mendoza's first possession. And the Heisman Trophy winner, chasing a championship back in his hometown, will take the field when you come back. Just frightening efficiency for Mendoza against Alabama and Oregon. More touchdowns than incompletions in those 2 games. Stunning accuracy, in particular against the Ducks.
Yeah. And again, let's give the offensive line in the running game an assist there. They have been living by their way. Like, they have dictated everything in these first 2 college football games. They're staying on schedule. They're throwing down at 3rd and 5. Very little 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. Miami's goal is to set up, be firm against the run, try to get Mendoza into more obvious passing situations.
Roman Hemby is the back, lined up to Mendoza's right in the end zone. A fake it to him, pitch to the edge, and the catch is made by Omar Cooper Jr., who slips a tackle and is going to be shoved out of bounds. 1st down. Here's the impact players, and Indiana's got the ball.
Hemby, of course, in the backfield, number 1. You'll see he and Black. Both of those are kind of interchangeable. Boy, Charlie Becker's been on fire in the CFP, doing great things over the last 6 games. Ruben Bain, 4 on the outside, is the best pass rusher. And Keontae Scott, really one of the players who really embodies this Miami defense, the heart and soul at the nickel.
And there's a handoff running right. Hemby knocked down. Tackling is going to be so important. It always is, but against teams that are very successful running after the catch. Miami missed one on that opening play.
Yeah, they sure did. It was Ethan O'Connor who missed that. You look at the 2 coordinators. Mike Shanahan does such a great job with this offense. Again, the other team wants to control the line of scrimmage and run to set up play action and RPO. And Corey Heatherman, this guy has been an amazing story from where this Miami defense was a year ago to now becoming a real strength, one of the top defenses in the country.
He worked for Cignetti at James Madison, Heatherman did. Mendoza checks it down. This is Hemby, shoved out aggressively and immediately by Mo Toure, who's not afraid to bring the wood.
He does a really good job of just identifying exactly where he needs to go. Watch him just kind of eye, see it, feel it. You know, you give these backs a little bit of space, and they're going to make you miss. That time he did a good job of taking that space away and making that play. Knew exactly where he needed to be.
Indiana elite at 3rd and long. Best 3rd down offense in the country. But they convert these kind of situations better than anybody. Haynes brings some pressure. Mendoza on the move, scanning, chase down, and a desperation heave into the bench as the pass rush makes a quick impact. That was Marquise Lightfoot.
Well, I'm going to show you Marquise Lightfoot because he's undersized for as far as Miami's defenders are concerned off the edge, 230 pounds. But watch him knock the back, Hemby down, and then the pressure's able to get to Mendoza. We just talked about IU's been playing on their terms. Miami wants to make them feel this, get him to 3rd and long and dial up the pressure. That series worked to perfection for the Canes D.
Didn't have a lot of sacks against Chambliss, but they did provide just enough pressure. Mitch McCarthy to punt it. Malachi Tony on the receiving end of a line drive punt. Driven back, has it at the 32. Tony just needs a little space. A flag comes in on the return. So Miami figures to lose what would have been pretty good field position on that penalty.
Yeah, I think there's a couple different holds there on the return.
Big 12 crew in charge tonight. Michael Vandervelde. Penalties have been a problem at times for Miami. They survived 10 against Ole Miss, and cutting down on the mental errors was at the top of his list tonight.
Number 22 receiving team, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Yeah, the problem is, Chris, Miami 5th most penalties in the country. Indiana 10th fewest. So very, very different teams all year. There's the penalty right in the middle. Just grabs on, brings him down right in front of the returner. Easier for the officials to be all over that one.
Cam Pruitt is a true freshman on special teams, the backup linebacker. So Carson Beck will take over, but not where they hope to.
CFP National Championship is presented by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. And in part by Allstate. You're in good hands. Verbo, vacation rentals done right. And Gatorade.
Quite a journey for both quarterbacks to get here. Of course, Alberto, Fernando's little brother, is the backup quarterback. Carson Beck went to Georgia, backed up. Stetson Bennett has the 2 championship rings for the Dogs, but doesn't really value him that much. Keeps him at home. He was injured in the SEC championship game last year against Texas, and then found a fresh start, as you said, here in Miami. Paid him a bunch of money. He couldn't even throw a football, Kirk, for the first 4 or 5 months he was here after that elbow surgery. They had to believe he could get his arm back. Yes.
And I would just go back and just say that when he played at Georgia, he was undefeated one year until he lost at the SEC championship. Last year he had some great moments as well. So it's not like he came in here struggling. The guy is a winner, and again, he's going to have to play well tonight.
Fletcher off the right side. They're more successful running to the right behind Inez Cooper and big Francis Mauinoa.
Yeah, that's their strong side. Cooper's really the leader, the 4-year starter, 73, the right guard, kind of the heart and soul of the offensive line. Mauinoa is just one of the best offensive linemen in college football. Some people think he's a top 10 pick. 6'6", 335 pounds there at the right tackle. When they need a yard or two, they're going behind the right side.
You get 4 on first down, and runs like that are going to be important really for both sides. Line of scrimmage is Miami's formula to win this game. They'll take 4 on first down. Fletcher again. Indiana's so good at penetrating the backfield. That's big Mario Landino, who is a tremendous player against Oregon, forced a couple fumbles.
Yeah, and we just kind of talked about this matchup right here with 61. Mauinoa, look at that work. You get to the edges as a defensive lineman and you're able to finish. And Kamara's being at it. They need him to step up the way he has these last couple games with the injury to Stephen Daly. He got inside of Mauinoa, and with his force and strength, able to get by him.
On 3rd and 5, Tony lined up behind the tight end of the left side. Keelan Marion comes in motion. Beck has plenty of time again. Across the middle into traffic. It's broken up. Stepping in to get a hand on it was Lewis Moore, the 6th-year senior, and a 3-and-out for Miami.
Well, nothing really stretched him downfield, so he was able to kind of sink and just kind of stay right within the structure of the defense. See, typically there's a receiver that's going downfield to back him up, but there's nobody there to threaten him, so he doesn't lose much depth. He's able to break down on the football, drive down, and make a great play there on that 3rd down.
Moore in his 7th-year experience got there just in the nick of time. So Dylan Joyce, as Brady awaits. High boot. Fair catch, wave forward. This time Indiana will start at the 29. Much better field position. In April, the 2026 NFL Draft is to Pittsburgh. Round 1 in prime time on ESPN, ABC, NFL Network, and streaming live. Lots of conversations, Kirk, about whether this guy is going to be first off the board, number 1, when Las Vegas makes the pick.
Yeah, there are a lot of guys. Look at this, players to win the Heisman national title. He drafted 1st overall. It's a short list. You can see in the modern game Cam Newton, Jameis Winston, and of course Joe Burrow in 19 after the year he had with the Tigers, went to Cincinnati. There's Tom Brady. We saw him on the field before the game.
It's important to both these quarterbacks. Mendoza was actually born in Boston, grew up a young Patriots fan before moving to Miami. Is he here scouting these quarterbacks?
Yeah. Mark Davis is here as well, so I would not be surprised at all.
Mendoza straight back, flushed a bit, pressured, retreating. Flag comes out as he heaves it on the sidelines, and it's broken up. He tried to find Charlie Becker, and the pass was broken up by Torre. This was in the holding zone.
Yeah, Khalil Benson, the right tackle, is going to get a holding call. When the quarterback got out of the pocket, Ruben Bain was trying to get to him. In 67, Benson just locked Bain up. So you don't see Indiana make a ton of mistakes, but Benson maybe lost the sight of where his quarterback was.
Number 67, offense, 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Already, Kirk, we've seen Mendoza pressured and chased to his right twice.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough battle for 67. Benson's a good player, but he's going up against an elite player. You talk about Pittsburgh in the draft. I mean, 4 is the guy you want to watch. And 3 on the other side, Mesidor. It's the best tandem of defensive ends and pressuring a quarterback in the country.
ACC Defensive Player of the Year is Ruben Bain. With the game plan for him, see what the Hoosiers do to adjust. Quick throw across the middle, catch made, and running after it is Cooper. Cooper breaking tackles out across the 45 yards after the catch.
It's an RPO, a slow developing RPO. He's reading Torre right here. You make the decision. Is he coming up? Is he staying down? He sees movement up, so that gives him the quick glance route right there. Get the ball out, give him a chance to protect himself, gets off of that would-be tackler by Poyser, and picks up first down yardage after that sack.
Trouble spot tonight for the Canes with shorthanded and already a couple missed tackles by that secondary. This is Halon Black falling forward as these Hoosier tailbacks always seem to do out near midfield.
Yeah, I mean, again, they're a team that it's usually at 2nd and 6. They're really comfortable with it. They're double teams. They don't climb too early up to the backer. They're going to hold that double team at the line of scrimmage. They're comfortable getting 3 and 4 and 5 and let these backs run downhill and fight through those linebackers for extra yards. They just want to stay on schedule.
Black touchdowns in each of the 2 playoff games so far. And there's a misfire.
Yeah, 674, the right guard, Bray Lanch. Looked like to me he may have moved early.
Snap, false start, number 74. Offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Brings up what we've seen so often. You can have strong tendencies, well established over 15 games. In a championship game, static in the brain, things can just be a little bit different. You see uncharacteristic mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. You see how frustrated it's like a virus to his computer. They just don't do that. I mean, the 5th fewest penalized team in the country.
I like that. Virus to his computer. Machine-like is one word that has been used to describe Indiana. There's a pitch to the edge. Surratt with a stiff arm there on Ethan O'Connor. And he's going to have first down yardage.
Again, this is what Mendoza does. Free access. You're going to stay off as a corner. He's going to take it. That was a run play with an alert tag. And every single time Mendoza either sees inside leverage on an outcut or a soft corner, he aborts, gets off the run play, takes a hit there by the blitzing Jacoby Thomas. But a good job of recognizing soft coverage, get that ball out. Again, first down.
Surratt, such a weapon, FBS leader with 15 touchdown receptions. This is Hemby, quick burst up the middle. And the former Maryland Terrapin falls forward. Winsley Basaint made the stop, picked up 3.
How much fun has it been to watch these 2 backs in the college football playoff, along with the offensive line? They just wear on you. It's not fancy, it's not flashy, but they're going to do it for 60 minutes. Body blow, body blow, body blow. Can you stand in there and take it?
Basaint out of the game. He tried it over. Trainer's taking a look at him. 2nd and 7, pocket closing in, but Mendoza stands and delivers. It's another first down strike for the Hoosiers inside the 35. 9-yard gain by Riley Nowakowski, the gritty tight end.
Yeah, Nowakowski's here, but watch the quarterback, Mendoza's eyes. He works to the left. He thinks he's got the outcut. He comes off of it quickly, almost like a check down right there to Nowakowski. See the eyes? He thinks he might go. Instead, where's that check down? Boom, ball out quickly. And again, another first down. Indiana right now looking good, moving his ball down the field.
5 of 6 start for Mendoza. Play fake, pitch to the edge. Surratt again, easy access in front of O.J. Frederic, whose return, he says, healthy tonight, but we'll keep a close eye on him.
Yeah, and he's, until they get out of this, he's just going to continue to go at it. They're going to mix the run. Corners are dropping, no problem. It's like basically an extension of their run game. They're just going to take 5, 7, 8 yards. Make Miami have to come up, play tighter, and then they'll try to work by them with Charlie Becker and Omar Cooper and company. Empty backfield first time tonight. 5 receivers for Mendoza. Pressure off the edge. He got hammered on the blind side. The pass is incomplete. That was Torrey on the blitz. Maybe keep it back in the backfield if you're Indiana tonight. Yeah, you got 5 up there. You go empty, and he's able to sneak out. Blind side. Never really felt that. Good job. A big part of this tonight with Mendoza and Beck, both these quarterback experience. They see a lot. So both coordinators, when we talked to them, talked about the importance of disguising, not tipping our hand. Make these guys have to see it post-snap. That time they fooled Mendoza completely. Teray described his style, Kirk, as fast and violent. And it fit that play. On third down, trying to run for it with Black. And Black bursts for a first down as the Hoosiers are in the red zone after a 7-yard third down run. You look at Pat Coogan, the center, the left guard, Drew Evans, left tackle, Carter Smith. It's almost a triple team. Watch this right here. Watch this movement. All 3 of them work up to the backer. Didn't even need to get to the backer. 3 of them on one. And you saw Black just running downhill with violence himself as a backer, or running back. He always runs with tremendous passion and almost anger when he runs the football. Feed it to him again. Stutter step. Knocked down after a short gain by Keontae Scott to find safety for the Hurricanes. And you see Jacoby Thomas coming down. They've been told this week to hit Mendoza as often as they can. That time carrying out the fake, you can see he got up underneath the chin strap in the face mask. Watch 8 after carrying out the fake. Instead of laying off, boom, hits him. Again, when they get their chances, they want to lay the wood. And you see right there, they're sending a message early in this game. Very, very lucky to avoid a personal foul. Bill, is that a defenseless player, or is it because he's carrying out a fake?
He's not defenseless, but at the same time, that hit was totally unnecessary and could have easily been a foul.
And a bunch of those kinds of penalties against Ole Miss. Play right there on the edge, but that was certainly over the line. Yeah, it sure was. And then he comes right back. See, that's the thing with Mendoza. It doesn't really blink, doesn't let the last play, good or bad, affect him as he spins forward to the next play. Came right back. Looked like a little bit of a miscommunication on whether he should give it, throw it outside. The pass was taken away, so he just tries to get some positive yardage. 3rd and 6, 11th play of this long Hoosier drive. Miami showing some pressure. They bring it. Pitch to the end zone and fought for it, incomplete. Well defended. That was O.J. Frederic on Charlie Becker, who's their top red zone weapon down there. Nice breakup. Yeah, it's a matchup we want to see with Xavier Lucas out of the game. Frederic is not surprised at all with the ability to get his head turned around and get in position, and they will allow the corner to get handsy if his head is locating the football. 29 does a great job in phase, getting his head turned around, so they gave him a little wiggle room there, pushing back and forth with Becker. So Niko Radicic, almost automatic from 34 yards. Indiana, the quarterback bleeding a little bit, draws first blood in this game. The Hoosiers, 12-play drive on top, late first quarter here at Hard Rock Stadium. Hoosiers on top. Miami fortunate to avoid a targeting against Jacoby Thomas. Bill LeMonnier, is that worthy of a targeting flag?
Yeah, he came in with, the first view I didn't see that part of it. I thought it was just a late hit. But this one here, he came in crown of the helmet right into his head.
They cannot afford that, Kirk. Already Xavier Lucas sitting out the first half to safety for targeting against Ole Miss. That would have been a disaster to lose Thomas. Yeah, no doubt about that. And I'm with Bill. I'm surprised we didn't see a flag come down. But I think carrying out the fake, quarterback is in play. Maybe they held the flag because of that. Gillen Marion, the kickoff return out across the 25. So Miami trying to get the offense going. But Very exciting weekend of football. Divisional playoffs yesterday. The ultimate game in college football here tonight. Late first quarter. Miami's third possession. They trail 3-0. Beck looking to throw on first down. Loops it, and it's tipped and incomplete. Hoosiers do such a good job at getting hands on passes. That was Roe Hardy drifting back as he tried to find Bauman, the tight end.
Yeah, Roe Hardy ends up getting back there, and I think Carson Beck, usually you're reading the corner. You know, that time Moore was playing that corner. He was up tight, and I think that's why he thought he could go up and over top of 7. I don't know if he saw the middle linebacker Hardy getting out there into that passing lane. Did a nice job of getting up to knock it away.
And then Moore did a nice job dislodging the ball from Bowman. So 2nd and 10. Beck zips it far sideline again. Pass broken up by D'Angelo Pons, closely covering C.J. Daniels. You see why this guy is an elite player at 5'9".
And Chris, watch the technique. Watch the right arm come up. And then see how quickly he is able to drive back on the ball. It's a really nice technique that he uses here. It's not interference, just kind of measuring where that receiver is. And then because he reacts so quickly, he's right there where he needs to be able to knock that ball away. That's perfect.
But the difference between the way the corners on these two teams are playing is so far tonight. Hoosiers all over Miami receivers, conceding nothing. 3rd and long, pressure comes. Beck's going to be racked up and sacked by Aiden Fisher, the captain, an emotional leader of this Indiana defense. And the Hoosiers are flexing on D as they often do early in games.
You know he's going to blitz. They blitz these linebackers quite a bit, and he's just going to come right up the middle, able to get pressure. Fletcher, who's usually pretty solid on 3rd down and pass protection, 4-on-4, he just shakes it, goes right around him, and comes up with a big sack for the Indiana defense.
You're right. They count on Fletcher. Not his best effort there. And the Canes' 2nd consecutive 3-and-out. Little pressure on Dylan Joyce, the punter, and it's off the side of his foot, but takes a good bounce for Miami. And will finally be down at the Indiana 27-yard line. Aerial coverage tonight brought to you by Goodyear. Tried, tested, and proven legendary. And our thanks to Chris Pratt for voicing the T's, setting the tone tonight. He stars in the new movie Mercy in theaters and in IMAX 3D this Friday. 54-yard punt. Mendoza back to work from the 27.
Surprise Miami, who talked to us all week about being patient with their play calling. Gotta run the football. Gotta run the football. We can't get impatient. 3rd series, 3 straight passes. It's not the formula or the recipe they're looking for tonight against the IU defense.
Hemby running loud. He'll be dragged down behind the line of scrimmage. Ruben Bain, not just a pass rusher, he's a beast defending the run on the edge.
Wow, is he ever. What a job first with the club. Watch the right arm club 37. Boom, right there. And now it's a foot race. Keep in mind, this guy's 270 pounds. They say he practices at 1 speed. Same speed, game speed every single day. And you can see how it pays off for him. He's having a monster year this year for the Canes.
6-yard loss on first down. Hand it right off into the teeth, and that's big. Ahmad Moten wrapping up Hemby after a 1-yard gain. 3rd and very long now.
Well, you get so caught up with Mesidor and Bain on the outside that sometimes you forget about what's going on in the interior with the speed that they have, and these guys are healthy now. Look at that. Just olays them. This is an offensive line that we've been bragging about all year about how sound they are, and they are. How well they work at double teams. It's hard to get off of them. Back-to-back plays by Bain, and then that time Moten showing you the quickness and the difference makers they have up front.
So the Pro Football Hall of Famer who coaches these defensive linemen. You got a speed rush package in here. Bain, Mesidor, Lightfoot, and Blunt, and it's a screen. Long way to go for Hemby, who's going to be knocked down. So the pass rush and the play by Bain on the first down run. And the Canes get a stop.
Again, you talk about a series where your best players make a difference. After they gave up that field goal, that long drive, Ruben Bain took that series over. He tried to throw a screen. There's no time. He's in there before you even have a chance to get the lineman out in front.
But the Hoosiers' defensive strength, the story of this first quarter. 3-0 Indiana. Now stay tuned for a special look at the new movie Send Help, only in theaters on January 30th. Except for the second quarter here at Hard Rock Stadium, the College Football Playoff National Championship game. Indiana in Miami's home stadium, but with a crowd edge tonight, leading 3-0. We'll plan it away as the Canes defense stepped up, got the Hoosiers behind the sticks early in that series, and continue to come after Mendoza. Murphy rolls and boots it, and Tony has a chance here, and he slips as he tries to make a cut. Did he go down? Tony's still running. Incredible balance. If he did stay out there, looked like he was going to head to the ground as he slipped, making a cut on the turf. Let's see if he did, in fact, stay off the ground there.
Well, if he did, it's miraculous effort. He slid. There,
nope.
He's down.
He's down.
There he's down.
I was going to say, wait a minute. I know he's agile. I know he's got tremendous balance, but that would have been amazing. So they'll obviously spot that and re-spot the football for this Miami drive.
That's all the way back to the 31.
Knee was down. It's first down, Miami, 31-yard line.
That wasn't his knee, Michael, but he was down.
Remember last time Miami had the ball, I just mentioned how they threw it 3 straight times. They talked about the importance of being patient. I bet you they're going to go back with Shannon Dawson running the ball. Remember, Indiana outscored Oregon and Alabama in the first half of those 2 CFP games, 52-7 in the first half. Miami's got to feel pretty good into the first quarter, down 3-0. I think they got to get back to that run game.
And they do hand it off on first down. You know, Shannon Dawson told us he's impatient by nature. Opponents know it. They kind of count on him getting impatient with the run game. Key test for him tonight in that department.
Yeah, I mean, and he'll be the first one to tell you. You know, he grew up with Dana Holgorsen, and you know, a lot of that offense was attacking, and not that he doesn't have that ability, but they much prefer to run the ball.
When he used a little tempo, he said tonight. He says a pitch to Daniels, and the veteran, former LSU player, tackled quickly by Lewis Moore. 7-yard gain sets up 3rd and 2 now.
Nice job by 2 things. Offensive line to give Beck enough time because he was working really that left side. Indiana playing zone. They're just trying to take away these easy throws. So he had to work from his left all the way back to his right to find C.J. Daniels.
Miami 0 for so far on 3rd down, Kirk.
There's that quick huddle you're talking about.
Marty Brown tests the middle and is pushed right back, gets nothing into the teeth of the Hoosiers. In Miami, if they can't succeed on plays like that, it's going to be a long night. Mikhail Kamara made the play.
And even with that quick huddle, nobody's surprised from Indiana. It's very disciplined, ready to go. Here's the backers coming down from the 2nd level. Kamara's going to work his way around, so you'll see both these guys make this tackle. 4 and boom, 6. Good job of using that movement up front, effective communication. Kamara gets free to help out with Aiden Fisher to keep him short of the sticks.
Indiana's defense so good at setting the tone in these first halves of the game, how dominant they are. They put the offense in great position, and they've done so again here. 3 consecutive 3-and-outs for Miami. Back after these messages, you're watching the College Football Playoff National Championship presented by AT&T. Been struggling, Kirk. This defense going to have to continue to play like this and keep them close.
Yeah, I think a big thing again was emphasized. They got to get after Mendoza. He's been very clean in the first 2 college football games. You could argue, hey, was that a dirty hit or not? Listen, Miami's defense right now, they have a great deal of respect for Mendoza and Indiana, and they came into this game thinking we've got to out-hit them. We got to be the most physical team. And so far in these dropbacks, you can see those are entire games. This is just 3 series and what Miami's been able to do so far.
Mendoza's 7 of 10. Did have consecutive incompletions earlier for the first time since the first quarter of the Big Ten championship game. Think about that.
Right.
That's how locked in and how accurate he's been. Surratt Again, easy access. Canes playing off him, and number 13 makes him pay. First down yardage in front of Frederic.
Yeah, and again, he's just looking out there. It's a running play with an alert. As Messidor tries to get up, tries to get in there to touch it, does not. Ball's able to get out there to Surratt. This is what he did on a couple of those early series. Looked out, pre-snap read, saw soft corners, just flipped the ball out there quickly to those open receivers with those corners off at about 8 yards. Now they tighten up.
First down pitch across the middle. It's broken up. Frederic got a hand out and broke it up. And Surratt was tightly covered that time.
Yeah, again, there's an RPO. Linebacker Teray came down, so he thought he had the quick route. But I'll tell you what, 29 right now is playing very, very well. He got away with a grab there with the left arm, grabbing onto Surratt, but he's tight and he's in phase, and he's got his eyes on the quarterback. Every time he's throwing the ball, he's looking back to be able to knock it away.
He's the lone holdover from last year's secondary. That was a disaster for the Canes. Frederic was a freshman All-American, though. Catch made, and still kind of pinballing around there is Nowakowski. Tough dude. Hard to tackle that tight end. They finally do. And again, Keontae Scott missed it. 8-yard gain. Holly?
Well, you talked about the hits that Miami's getting on Fernando Mendoza. He came to the sideline. He's got a pretty bloody lip. It's cut up on the inside. The athletic trainer was looking to wipe the blood off, but he was getting his gloves on. Alberto said, just let me do it. It's a brother. I can get his blood on me. But you guys, historically, when Fernando gets hit, he gets better in games. The players say he got hit early against Iowa. That's when they knew they had a guy. He thrives off this stuff.
Remember the hit against Ohio State in the first play. Black is the back on third down, and Indiana no trouble picking up what Miami could not a few minutes ago out to the 39.
You know, the previous play on second down, Keontae Scott had a chance to make a play and make a tackle. Instead, he tried to make a play on the football, and he misses the tackle. It would have been 3rd and 7 if he just gave up on trying to knock the ball away and just tackled the receiver right there. Instead, he misses that, so they get him to 3rd and 2, and then easy to pick up that first down there with a run by Black.
Hoosiers have lost one fumble, and it was back against Old Dominion very, very early in the season. They simply don't make mistakes. Hemby off the left side. The Saint delivered the shot, picked up 1.
You go back in Big Ten play for Mendoza. He goes to Iowa City. He takes a big hit there that was inbounds. Ohio State, first play of the game, gets hit. A lot of people were wondering if he might be out of the game. He came back after a play or so he's been hit a lot.
Toughness certainly part of the equation for the Heisman winners. A second down run, not much. Hemby is going to be knocked down after a short gain.
So here's what's going to happen. Indiana coaches are looking down, not on third down. They're going to have to convert. They're going to go fast here. But those Miami safeties are starting to cheat down on this run game. Eventually, you're going to see them take shots.
Pitch, and it's incomplete. Flag comes in. Once again, it was Frederic on Surratt. A little too handsy that time, perhaps. It's right in front of Signetti.
Pass interference, number 29. Defense, stop foul, automatic, first down.
Bill, quickly, the difference between that and the previous ones where he's been pretty handsy on some of the other covers as well.
He's got a restriction there that's preventing the receiver from getting turned to the ball.
Got it.
Cristobal doesn't like it. Signetti, by the way, has been working the officials in every single timeout. Unhappy with the non-calls early in the game. So Indiana in Miami territory and unable to escape. Ahmad Moten. Hemby that time hit immediately as the big 300-pounder from Fort Lauderdale, the tackle for loss.
You want to see a matchup tonight? Moten in the inside with Coogan, the Rose Bowl MVP, right in the middle. These guys have been going at it a lot already. Moten has made a few plays where he's been able to get around Coogan, who's very gifted. Transfer from Notre Dame, played in the national title last year against Ohio State, but 99 against 78. What a battle.
Omar Cooper is in the backfield, now motions out on 2nd and 14. And they run it again right into the teeth. Hemby, not much. Picked up a yard. Bain again on the play, 3rd down and long.
Yeah, Bain's not even supposed to be in this play. This is just a play into the interior. He's way out here. But this gives you an idea of his suddenness. Plays downhill, boom. He's able to finish on it. I mean, he really has instincts of a linebacker and vision of a linebacker. He's just playing off the edge at 270 pounds.
Right here in Miami, Miami Central High School is already prepped like a pro, which is going to be soon. With hard work on his body, diet, really leaner and meaner than ever before this year. Timeout taken.
The CFP National Championship presented by AT&T is brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Taco Bell and Dr. Pepper. Stay tuned after the game for the trophy run presented by Dr. Pepper.
Progressive Hall of Fame, Christopher Columbus High School, small Catholic all-boys school. Mario Cristobal will show you high school teammates of Fernando Mendoza's father. That's the watch party there. School's out, by the way, tomorrow. No class, because they'll be celebrating either a Miami victory or a victory for alum Mendoza. Albert Mendoza, of course, there as well. Bryce Fitzgerald, Ryan Rodriguez are players on the Miami side. Columbus graduates. The Explorers.
Love it. Such good high school football down in this region. So many good programs.
3rd and 13. Miami with the speed rush package in the game. Mendoza running out of time, and it's too high.
Yeah, he had a free play because of Ruben Bain jumping. So I don't know if he knew he had a free play, but he takes a shot downfield, tries to hit a seam.
Try to time up the snap count here.
Offside, number 4, defense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Let's see if that's costly.
Miami uncharacteristically has been bringing a lot of pressure, dialing up a lot more blitzes than we've seen from them all year. 7 of the 13 plays have been blitzes when he's dropped back. No opponent more than 50%.
Mendoza got hit low by Mesidor there, so 3rd and 8 now. Cooper comes in motion, handoff up the middle, and barreling for a first down and more is Kaylon Black. Catching the Canes off guard, rumbles for 21.
You got both the inside linebackers walked up here. Watch the block right here by 62. He's got an angle, able to push it, kick it to the inside, and they got downhill in a hurry.
Miami trying to get set up as they snap it with some tempo. Cooper, the catch on the edge, and Indiana muscling down near the red zone.
Yeah, great job here. It surprised all of us, right, Chris? I mean, who's expecting on 3rd and long a run? It hit so quickly downhill. Great job. They took the linebackers out with them walked up. We just mentioned they've been really blitzing, bringing a lot of pressure. Not something they've done all year, but because of the importance of affecting Mendoza, they think they got to dial it up. What a call, and kind of a change up there by Mike Shanahan.
It's been Black, who now hits 1,000 yards with that run at the hot hand. Again, huge cushion, and Becker makes the catch, fights down near the pylon. Touchdown, Indiana! '85-yard drive. Miami simply cannot tackle Indiana tonight.
I don't know what Frederic is thinking there to try to make a tackle. 29, he just kind of gives up on the play. Does he stay in bounds? Nope, he's out of bounds right there. But what a job. Once again, Mendoza saw the cushion that you mentioned and just took it. Came off the run, took this, and now instead of tackling, they're trying to just get the football. The foot is obviously out of bounds. Very poor effort by O.J. Frederic there on trying to make that tackle. Watch 29. There's the cushion. Easy first down. Poor effort there by 29. And then great effort by Becker, who's just been on fire over the last 6 games for this Indiana offense.
Looked like Frederic was pointing at Thomas, thinking he had him, but...
Yeah, let's all have him. I mean, if you're on defense, I'm not worried about pointing at anybody. Let's make a play. I mean, it's a national championship. You got to tackle.
Well, the secondary we knew coming in was a concern. Pass rush is elite, but if you can beat the pass rush, these guys have been a little bit vulnerable. And not having Xavier Lucas, one of the starting corners, in for the first half because of targeting against Ole Miss. You can debate whether or not it makes sense to keep a guy out of a championship game half for that. But the guys who've stepped up and tried to fill in, getting beat tonight.
Yeah, and no, they're going to. I guess we're going to take a peek again where he stepped out of bounds. Looks like right around maybe the 5-yard line. But Chris, let's not forget, 6-yard line. 3rd and 6, pass interference on Frederic.
Yep.
3rd and long, offsides on Ruben Bain. Keeps the drive alive, shortens the distance that they have to do to keep this drive alive. And then the big run on that other 3rd down call. And Becker, matter of time till 80 starts making plays. He makes a big one there. How about he really got his opportunity when Surratt went down with the injury. Becker's opportunities went up. And man, is he taking advantage of them. They can't get him off the field anymore.
Tom Allen recruit, the only holdover in this receiving corps from the pre-Signetti era. So 1st and goal, Hoosiers trying to add to this lead. 6 O-linemen in the game. It's Becker who comes across in motion. Black met in the hole and picks up about a yard into the teeth of that Hurricane defense.
You better eat your Wheaties if you're an inside linebacker against this Indiana offense. Not just the offensive line and the double teams, but you survive that, and here come the running backs running downhill with him being right now Kalon Black. Runs so hard. Teray met him, to his credit, right in the hole. Kind of stonewalled him right there at the 5-yard line.
A lot of weapons to work with in the red zone. Little wonder Indiana's an elite team in this area. Black spun down at the 1. Signetti and Mike Shanahan, who calls the plays, choosing to try to beat Miami at their own game. Pure power football, running middle.
Oh, yeah, and that's their game. That's what they do. Again, watch how hard these guys run. There's the double team, trying to get up to the backer. Reminds me of Isaiah Pacheco for the Chiefs when he was at Rutgers. The way he runs, especially the way Black runs. Just bad intentions running into the teeth of that defense.
Nowakowski, the tight end, lined up as a fullback in front of Black on 3rd and goal.
Yeah, Miami looks like they're going to call a timeout, try to get things on the same page on this 3rd and goal. This will be the 14th play of the drive. Miami has 14 plays in the whole game. This 14th play of the drive coming up.
Miami highly values ball control, time of possession domination. Hoosiers turning tables so far tonight, midway 2nd. Sedkirk, 14th play of the drive. That's how many plays Miami has had the ball all game so far. 31 for Indiana. Now here they are trying to build a double-digit lead.
Miami called that timeout. They had 12 men on the field. Just wanted to make sure, obviously, to get that before the ball snapped. There's the glare.
Black, once again, lined up behind Nowakowski. They hand it off to the fullback / tight end, and he powers in. Touchdown, Indiana. A dominant start here for the #1 team.
A couple different wrinkles there, Chris. Not only do you use the back as a decoy, but also you hand it off to the big tight end who has fullback background in his days in Wisconsin. And you lose the Big Ten Offensive Lineman of the Year, Carter Smith, as the left tackle. Use him in motion as a fullback up into the interior of the offensive line.
Benedict adds the point. They say he's the glue, does the dirty work, tremendous blocker in the run game. He can catch the pan and run with it, and then tote the rock too.
Absolutely. There's so many different things. The last drive, trying to be able to get as many yards as they can. 3rd down and 8, running the football to be able to get that 1st down.
That was huge.
Huge play. Thought this might be a touchdown. He stepped out of bounds, but a good job of converting again with Charlie Becker. And then they're able to finish the drive off with Nowakowski, with Carter Smith leading the way to give the Indiana Hoosiers their first touchdown of the game in the national title.
Talked about Cristobal's background, the identity of this team. They believe they're the stronger team in the line of scrimmage. They believe they should own the trenches every game. Indiana completely dominating on both sides so far tonight. And Cignetti overflowing with emotion on the sideline. He expects that. That's why he says he doesn't react with joy. What am I supposed to act like it's a big deal? That's what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, he's
got to do it again.
He's already thinking about the extra point, kickoff coverage. He's got his mind elsewhere. No time to celebrate.
He admits he might celebrate tonight. If things stay on this path, he'll crack open a couple of cold beers. Now, how can you get Carson Beck going here?
Well, I think if I were right now trying, first of all, you got to just keep your cool. There's a long way to go, and Shannon Dawson's going to stick to the game plan. You know, they ran for 175 yards in the game against Texas A&M on the road, 153 on the ground against Ohio State, 191 against Ole Miss. Tonight, 4 possessions, only 10 rushing yards. And Fletcher, his last carry was with 10:07 to go in the first quarter. That was almost an hour ago. This is the last time he carried the ball.
Had that big gain. His very first carry was successful. Since then, Indiana has smothered the run game. This is Fletcher again. They do a great job at kind of driving the pile forward behind this big back.
That's
Step 5.
That's who they want to be. I mean, that's who they've got to be to set up their offense. It's not fancy. We got some pushing and shoving going down. But that's who they want to be. Get behind that right side of the offensive line. Fletcher finally gets his hands on the ball. And then sprinkle in Malachi Tony on a jet sweep. Get him the ball in space. But they've got to be able to. You want to be Mario Cristobal and you want to beat Indiana at their own game, you got to rely on that offensive line and the physical running of Fletcher and Brown.
After the play, well after the play, Fletcher up there pointing at big Tyreek Tucker. Frustration, no doubt, has to be building on Miami's side. Not used to experiencing this. Fletcher on 2nd and 5. Tripped off. Looked like he had a gap there. And reaching out to grab him was Isaiah Jones, I believe.
He used his leg to grab him. He got like a leg whip to be able to bring him down. That's what I saw. I don't think he got a hand up there. I think he was getting blocked by Malachi Tony, and just that leg lifts it up and brings him down right there.
Yeah, that was not an intentional act to trip, so
right.
That was perfectly.
Yeah, in the middle of getting blocked. Just kind of raised his leg there.
Miami still yet to convert on 3rd down. They need 1. Fletcher, nothing. They're getting no movement. You can see the body language from Beck. He's getting frustrated. His powerful offensive line is getting outplayed. Kamara and Tucker on the stop. Another quick drive for Miami.
Well, they may go for this the way things are going. They build a wall on that defensive line. You'll see eventually Fisher's able to work his way around. But look at that wall, just nowhere to go. Keep in mind, they are going to go for this. They've got an advantage of 53 pounds per guy up front, and they can't move them because of the scheme and the quickness of Indiana's defensive front.
Remember the Rose Bowl. Alabama went for it. Similar position on 4th down. Cignetti had that arched eyebrow, and then his defense made the stop. Fletcher, left side, pushing, working hard. Let's see where they spot it. They're running in near the marker. This is going to be very close. Hoosiers believe they came up with a stop. It is a 1st down by the nose. He doesn't buy it.
That's what it took to be able to pick up their 2nd 1st down of the game. 8 offensive linemen, if you include the guys they brought in at fullback and tight end. 8 offensive linemen, and you can see the football.
I knew we'd see that.
He got it by, just a couple inches.
Replay did look like the ball had gotten that mark by the time he hit the ground. 1st down throw, and wide open is C.J. Daniels. Finally, an explosive play with a pass game for Miami. They're at the Indiana 40. Again, pushing and shoving way back behind the play.
And a great job here, and we'll be able to work this levels concept. Here's Daniels right here. He's just working to that 2nd level. He's able to get around more the safety, and a heck of a job there from a timing standpoint by Carson Beck. Got back, had confidence. He had Malachi Tony underneath, had the confidence to make the throw up and over more the safety for a good call there on 1st and 10. You run it, and then you mix in play action.
Nice layered throw. He does that very well. Beck hoping he can build on that 25-yard gain. Tony on the edge. Signetti said they'd have multiple plans, he and Brian Haynes, to stop number 10 because one plan isn't enough. So far, so good.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. Malachi Tony hasn't had a lot of space to work with. And, you know, I think that they have a really good feel based on Malachi Tony moving, pre-snap movement when he motions out to this time where Keelan Marion was, number 0. That's an indicator. They feel like there's a few tails on when they go with that quick tunnel screen. They reacted very quickly on that one to bottle him up.
3 catches for Tony, but only 11 yards. Closing in on the 2-minute timeout. And Miami will not snap it. So Indiana in charge, 10-0. Miami before halftime trying to put something on the board as the Hoosiers will get the football to begin the second half. All crimson and cream on the Canes home field so far tonight. Curt Cignetti, not just a brilliant coach, he's a meme. All these facial expressions, the arched eyebrow, the dour look, no matter what his team is doing, how good it looks on the field. That was the 4th down reaction. Miami had to do that just to keep this drive alive. And now they've moved the ball inside the 40 of Indiana.
Tough to make big plays against this Indiana defense. They take away the explosives. They make you earn it.
Fletcher to the left side. Quick penetration. That was D'Angelo Pons off the corner to grab the running back by the ankles.
Yeah, it's amazing how you know, corners a lot of times are known for their ability to cover, but this guy is 173 pounds, 5'9". He just goes right around the offensive lineman. I don't know if they didn't see him. They just ignored him. He's a little guy. Don't worry about him. He goes around him, gets low, brings Fletcher down.
I don't think the play design accounts for a guy that quick to get in there.
Yeah. I mean, he just... Markel Bell was pulling around, didn't even worry about it.
Here's a 3rd and 8. Miami really not in solid field goal range. Quick pitch. Keelan Marion makes the catch. He's spun down short of the marker. It's going to be about 4th and 2. Kamara made the play, and then does Cristobal go for this one?
Yeah, that time they tried to use Malachi Tony as a decoy in motion. Jet sweep, try to catch the defense's eyes, and then go back to the boundary to Keelan Marion. It actually got him some positive yards with the defense completely dialed in on Tony, who has 3 catches, only 11 yards. They're going to let this clock go down.
Well, that gain moved them into field goal range. Carter Davis, but this would be about a 50-yarder. Let's see if he's going to let it run down, take a timeout.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I mean, if you're trying to go for it and then reach the end zone, you're taking away a lot of time potentially. Doesn't seem to be the plan. It's the kind of thing you do if you're going to kick a field goal.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's what they're doing. Yep.
Well, it's been a grinding game, and Indiana showing that they can win football games different ways. It doesn't have to be the Heisman guy pitching it around with a lot of spectacular throws. It's line of scrimmage dominance really on both sides so far.
Yeah, kind of what the scouting report said about the game coming in was, as much as people talk about Miami and their physicality, the reality is coming into this game, nobody was playing better at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball than Indiana. And so that's what we all thought. Can their physicality step up to match Indiana's? In his first half, the Hoosiers have kind of had their way of things. But with that being said, it's 10-0. Not a ton of possessions.
Davis, who kicked a game-winning field goal here against Notre Dame in the opener. That was from 47. This is from 50. And it doinks off the right upright. That's the 2nd time he's doinked one in the CFP. He was 1 of 4 in windy conditions at Texas A&M. And the Canes come up empty. And Indiana will take a lead to the locker room and get the football to begin the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, that's the key. The fact that they're getting the football back to start the second half. And then Miami, their first opportunity to try to come away with points, they miss it.
What is it with goalposts all of a sudden? It's like a magnet for the football in the games we do.
I know.
There were 2 doinks, one by each kicker in the Miami-Ole Miss game. And, of course, he had one against A&M.
Now the question is, with Mendoza and the confidence they have in him, with the time that they have remaining, are they thinking about trying to get in the field goal range themselves, or are they going to work the clock and just get out of here?
They hand it off to Hemby. Powers forward. They do have a couple of timeouts if Cignetti chooses to be aggressive and press his advantage here. Mercedes-Benz halftime report is coming up. We're seeing Nick Saban, Reese Davis, special guest Marcus Freeman, along with Desmond. Mendoza from the pocket, low throw, catch made right at midfield by Becker. Indiana's got their long distance kicker Brendan Frankie back. They don't need to get too much farther to give him a chance. Clock winding down to 3 seconds. I think he's hollering. I think he expected to take that timeout earlier. They had 2 to work with. Holly.
Guys, you were talking about Brendan Frankie. He's their long distance field goal kicker, but he's been hurt. He had surgery this year and he hasn't had the range. I just saw him running sprints. He was going about 50 yards down the sideline, making sure his groin, hamstring, and legs are warmed up. He hit a 57-yarder in practice this week here in Miami, so he's ready to rock. He was putting in some mileage down here.
He had a 57-yarder in warm-up that hit the net, so he's got a strong leg.
Just go back. They ran the football, and then they just kind of let the clock. They had 2 timeouts. They let the clock go down. I thought they might get aggressive, and then they threw the football, and they get positive yards, but they wasted at least 15 seconds by just running the ball and not necessarily having a lot of urgency. So 3 seconds left, the ball's at midfield, but boy, they could have had a lot more time to work with it.
They're going to reset it to 5, but I agree with you. Becker made the catch plenty of time, you think, and certainly they're in Frankie's range with 1 more completion.
Yeah. Now they got to 1 timeout. You wonder if you're going trips into the boundary, try to get something out of the hands of Mendoza quickly to just try to get closer.
Miami's playing it like it's a Hail Mary. They're way off those receivers, and that's what Mendoza's thinking as he steps back and launches into heavy traffic near the pylon, and it's going to be incomplete. Becker was out there, but well defended. So Miami comes up empty, the late field goal miss, and Indiana with 169 total yards, dominating the clock and the stats. Into the play here, Becker working with Jacoby Thomas, who does make the grab, but well out of bounds. Let's go to Molly with Mario Cristobal.
Coach, down 10-0 after that missed field goal. What will you emphasize at the half?
Well, I think one thing, we're finally trying to get some offensive stuff going. Defensively, we played a great half. We hurt ourselves with that 1 penalty, sustained the drive. And then down here, we got a good call to try to make a play, and we didn't get it. We didn't communicate it. So we've got to go in there. We got to fix our own stuff. They're a really good football team. We got to play Hurricane football.
All right, thank you, Coach. Holly.
Coach Cignetti, they're hitting your quarterback. How is that impacting your offense and his ability to get into a rhythm?
Well, there's 3 personal fouls on the quarterback not called in 1 drive that need to be called because they're obvious personal fouls. I'm all for letting them play, but when you cross the line, you got to call it. And they were black and white calls. So we got some 3rd down conversions on cross against double mug. That's helped. We got a 2-score lead. Defense hasn't let them in the end zone or on the scoreboard. We'll get the ball first. Sure, it'd be nice to go down there and score a touchdown.
Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.
Comprehensive, thorough, surprisingly so. Cignetti and the Hoosiers come down to South Florida. They have the crowd edge here and a 10-0 edge at halftime. Mercedes-Benz halftime report coming up. You're watching the College Football Playoff National Championship presented by AT&T.
Welcome to the Mercedes-Benz halftime report.
Riley Nowakowski's carried the football twice all season, and twice he's wound up in the end zone. First rushing attempt since the Kennesaw State game on September 6th. It's the only touchdown in the first half. 10-0 Indiana. Reese Davis, Nick Saban, Desmond Howard, Notre Dame head coach Marcus Freeman with us. Impressive first half for the Hoosiers. They outgained them by 100 yards. What were your impressions?
Well, I think Indiana's playing lights out on defense. Three of the four first series for Miami was 3 and outs, and you're not going to be able to score points if you're going 3 and out. And then on the other side of it, the 2 scoring drives for Indiana, you see free access throws. They're taking advantage of the free access throws, and are also converting on 3rd down. So I think that's the key right now is sustaining drives. If you're Miami and Indiana, you have to make sure you continue to convert on 3rd down.
And Nick, that Indiana defense has really dominated the way the game's been played.
Well, and I think they're mixing it up really well. You know, Miami's 0 for 6 on 3rd down, so they haven't been able to drive the ball. And Indiana is actually playing Miami's game with long drives. Miami is 3 and out. So here's what I'm talking about. Here you're going to see them. They got people mugged up. They drop out. They drop 8. There's really nowhere to throw the ball. Quarterback holds the ball incomplete. Here's another opportunity where it's simulated pressure. They drop 8, nowhere to throw the ball, denying the throw. And then from the same mugged up look, now they bring pressure. 4 beats the back, and they got a sack. So they've really kept Miami off balance with the way they dropped 8 and how they pressured. And Miami has not been able to consistently run the ball like they like to, so they're going to have to be able to mix it up a little bit better here, throwing it.
And because Miami hasn't been able to run the ball and sustain drives, the defense is on the field a lot. They've been playing championship-level football until the penalties. We knew they were one of the most penalized teams coming to the CFP. And on Indiana's only touchdown drive, 2 costly penalties. Ruben Bain right there, Jr., 3rd and 12. He jumps off sides, makes it 3rd and manageable. And then 3rd and 6 right here. PI by O.J. Frederick sustained the drive, kept the ball moving, and then here's the touchdown that RD talked about right there, the 1-yard run, the only touchdown of the first half for Indiana. I thought that the Hoosiers offense played extremely well. I like Miami's defense. They just got to eliminate the penalties.
They're going to get some help coming up, too, as we were walking up here. A reminder, Xavier Lucas, who was out of the first half because of a targeting penalty in the semifinals. We saw him warming up underneath the stadium. Maybe that'll change some of those free access throws and the big cushions that they've been giving in the first half. Miami has not scored here in the first half, but, you know, they rallied against Texas A&M, but they didn't get much done on offense early. Hoosiers, though, impressive, up 10-3. More coming up right after this.
This halftime report is presented by Mercedes-Benz.
And now it's time for our Road to the Championship presented by Mercedes-Benz. Miami really could have used a field goal before the half. Carter Davis finds the upright. So Hurricanes scoreless in the first half. The only other team in the college football playoff era shut out in the first half. Alabama, 2017, but then Tua came in and took care of that. Getting pressure on the quarterback is something that Miami is going to have to continue to do, Mark.
Yeah, in order to do that, you're going to have to get them behind the sticks. And you saw in the second series, Miami was able to do that on first down. You know, Indiana runs the ball. You see Ruben Bain does a great job right here of getting a tackle for loss. Now they're behind the sticks. They run it on second down. Moton makes a play for a 1-yard gain. And most defenses are going to be able to get off the field on 3rd and extra long, 3rd and 15 like they did. It happened again in the 4th series, but the 3rd and 12 penalty now gave Indiana a chance to convert.
Julie, what are you looking for in the second half?
Well, first of all, I think maybe getting Xavier Lucas will help Miami a little bit. I learned one thing in the NFL, when you play against Dan Marino, breaking on the ball is overrated. So playing all this zone that they're playing and off coverage and giving them all these gift throws, they got to do something about that. They're going to have to deny the ball more. Mendoza's just going to pick them apart. They got to do a better job of getting off the field on 3rd down. And then to me on offense, they got to have a little more diversity. They got to spread the ball around a little bit more. And get Indiana on their heels on defense.
I tell you, you're looking at an Indiana team that's been blowing out their opponents. It's only a 10-point game right now. If I'm Mario Cristobal, I'm in the locker room saying, listen, guys, we didn't play our best half of football in that first half. We're going to get Xavier Lucas back to help tighten up the secondary. Offensively, we got to wake up. They got to take some shots down the field because you see Indiana's secondary, they're starting to creep up to stop the run, defend the run. They're going to have to take some shots down the field, Coach.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is let's go out here and get a stop defensively.
Yeah.
Right? It's a 10-point game, as you just said. Get a stop, get the ball back to our offense, and then our offense got to get rolling.
Yeah.
You've got to have success running the ball, too.
Yeah, but you also got to do what they think you're not going to do. So, like on 3rd and 1, take a shot.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they've been stopped on 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 1. Don't be so conservative, man. Caution to the wind in a game like this. Put 2 in the game and let's go.
Well, you know, here's the thing, too. And you also authored a great comeback late in the game in the national championship game. Gave your team a chance. What about Indiana, though, making sure they maintain this lead quickly, Mark?
Indiana's got to continue to do what it's doing and being aggressive on offense, taking care of the football, and their defense, again, has been playing lights out. Continue to do what they're doing.
I mean, 14 play drives, and they're keeping the ball away from the other team, and they're very efficient.
They got to do a better job, too, of protecting Mendoza because he took some shots in that first half.
Hey, Desmond, that's a great point. He's only been pressured 11 times in the playoff prior to tonight. 6 of his 17 dropbacks. They've at least applied some heat. He's taken a few hits, but the Hoosiers are up by 10.
This halftime report is presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Miami.
Both teams are playing their best football.
Championship matchup. Here we go.
Same speed, game speed.
And the Hoosiers are flexing. Touchdown, Indiana. Set for the second half in Miami. The College Football Playoff National Championship presented by AT&T. Home stadium of the Hurricanes. Crowd edge, Indiana, and a 10-0 lead for the #1 team. 30 minutes away from a 16-0 regular season and the school's first national championship. What can Miami do, Kirk, to prevent that? Hoosiers got the ball to start the third quarter.
Well, their defense is playing pretty well. You know, they're going to have to continue to try to take away some of the space for those easy access throws that Mendoza's been taking. Really, it's about their offense. We saw them put together their best drive there at the end of the half. I think it's quick hitters with all that Indiana movement on that defensive line. You got to hit some quick hitters with Mark Fletcher. Got to get back to being able to run the ball to set up their play-action game that can be so dangerous.
Miami had 26 yards total offense until that last drive, coming up empty when Davis hit the field goal off the right upright. All-State bus. Last stop for Sam. It's been a long year. Here he is going down the racetrack outside the stadium. What's the All-State good hands play tonight?
Yeah, we're going to talk about the adjustment that Indiana's made against the respect they have for Ruben Payne and company. A lot of RPOs, a lot of quick ball out. See with the alert, run the ball, get the ball out when you see the cushion. You can see how quickly he is not holding on to that ball much. Now, they only have 1 touchdown, which is a big accomplishment for Miami compared to the first 2 games in the CFP where they really just dominated. But look at that, 2.1 seconds. That ball's out of his hands.
The first down run, hit behind the line, falling forward near the line of scrimmage is Kaylon Black. Molly?
Well, Chris, Miami corner Xavier Lucas returns after missing the first half with a targeting penalty. He stayed warm by doing sprints on the sideline and told us he's going to come out in this second half with a fire and an anger. And speaking of anger, defensive coordinator Corey Heatherman gathered his defense together on the sideline before the half and said, I don't recognize you. You're missing tackles, making unacceptable mistakes. I need you guys to be detailed, disciplined.
Mendoza looking to throw on 2nd and 10. He'll be sacked. Dropped by Akeem Mesidor. The other elite pass rusher, defensive end, gets home.
Well, I was showing you the cushion and lack thereof right here. Look at how tight this coverage is. That's different than what we saw in the first half where they gave up a ton of cushion. And now when you play tight like that, Mendoza, see how he wants to get the ball out of his hands, but he's got nowhere to go. Pump. He's kind of taking that extra hitch, and it eventually allows that pass rush. It's so lethal to get home.
Yeah, that was not 2.1 seconds. That was longer that he held the ball. Now they're just going to try to run for it on 3rd and long. And Black, did he get a face mask?
Sure looked like it.
Early in the play, he was trying to break free. Another costly penalty for Miami, apparently.
Armando Blunt looked like he got his hands up into the face mask and pulled him down.
There's penalties, and then there's really crushing penalties.
Yeah,
they were off the field that time.
They're conceding. They're going to punt, running the
Personal
football.
foul, face mask, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's 3rd and 17. First series of the second half. It's about to be a 3-and-out after that sack. Indiana's just going to run to just kind of basically concede the series. And instead, a hustle play by Blunt just gets his left hand up into the face mask and pulls Black down. And it brings the 15-yard penalty and the automatic first down.
The 3rd penalty on 3rd down. Miami had about 50 more penalties on them this year than Indiana. And Cignetti hoped and believed that was going to be an edge today. His team playing more disciplined. The first down run by Hemby. Nothing there. Holly?
Well, for Fernando Mendoza to take the field on this offensive drive, the last thing he did before he got on the field was come and put this liquid chalk on his hands. I tried a little bit myself. This is actually goes on like it's wet, but in about 5 seconds it dries. It's not tacky. It doesn't get on the ball. It is not illegal, but it does give him just a little less moisture on his hands so he can help grip the ball. If you ever had whiteout dry on your fingers, it's a little like that.
Don't touch your jacket, Holly, with that hand. That's kind of a growing trend, that liquid chalk. Mendoza rolls, moves the pocket, delivers a downfield play, and it's incomplete. Surratt was trying to fight back to the football. Ethan O'Connor was defending. So it's 3rd and long again.
Yeah, he's looking downfield. You know, I think he missed an open receiver with Omar Cooper. He looks downfield to Surratt. But Cooper, tight coverage with Keontae Scott. It's a good matchup. He goes down. He keeps his feet. He's wide open. You can see he's a little frustrated at the end there because he knew that he was able to win that battle against Keontae Scott. That is a heck of a battle in there on the inside with those two.
Scott's a tough guy. You don't see him run over like that often.
Had him to 3rd and long again.
Mendoza needs 9 here. Has time, now running out of it as Bain chases him down and makes the sack. 2 sacks on the possession, and Miami survives the personal foul and gets off the field. 8-yard loss there.
Well, what they do is they walk up a linebacker to try to create a one-on-one. So this will occupy the guard, and now you've got a one-on-one matchup to the outside. That was Lightfoot. Evans ends up blocking nobody. So instead of being able to kick out 62 to have 2 guys on Bain, it's a one-on-one matchup, good against Carter Smith, and he's able to get home.
Boy, Kirk, when that draft unfolds in Vegas, I mean, how many names did go off the board before Ruben Bain? That's what I want to know.
I'm with you.
I know you need quarterbacks often, but you need pass rushers too. This is Tony. Malachi Tony. Long kick gave him a chance to get momentum before the coverage team arrived. 49-yard boot, but he brought it back 17 yards. So Miami's defense still playing hard, still keeping the offense close. 10-0. Aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear. Legends aren't born, they're proven. See if Kane can get something going with Beck after this. Earlier, ESPN Chairman Jimmy Pitaro, joined by CFP Executive Director Richard Clark and Reese Davis, joined on the field by local Miami guys trying to support education through the power of youth sports. ESPN's Take Back Sports Initiative and the CFP's Extra Yard for Teachers have teamed up to invest over $4 million to support schools. TakeBackSports.org, a place for more information. Miami, with the defense coming out with a pair of sacks to sniff out the last Hoosier drive, takes over at the 38. Beck across the middle. Not much after the catch from Malachi Tony. Fisher was right there to drop him.
It's interesting that in this era of defenses playing a ton of nickel, they want to specialize in nickel. They want more speed on the field. This Indiana defense plays with 3 linebackers. Isaiah Jones to 3rd with a go along with Fisher and Hardy. They rarely will take him off the field. That's a big part of their versatility and ability to rush the quarterback when they use 46-4 and 21. He'll rarely go off the field for that 5th DB.
They'll give Tony a 5-yard gain anytime. Great job corralling number 10, not letting him get loose. Fletcher breaks free. Mark Fletcher in a foot race. Miami touchdown. And just like that, Miami's bell cow back changes around this championship game.
Here's his mom that's traveled all over America over the last couple years to follow her son's career. She will not fly, but she will drive to see him, whether it's Cal Berkeley or Glendale, Arizona, or wherever.
18,000 miles this year.
Yeah, look at her. Look at that emotion. There you go. That's my boy. I'm so fired up for her to see that.
Off the right side, opened up a nice crease for him, huh?
Yeah, the right side is what they're known for, but I'll tell you, they got a couple good blocks by the tight end and one of the receivers, C.J. Daniels. Take a look at this, Chris. You're right. Anytime they go behind that right side, you know that they feel good about what they can do. Watch 87. You're going to get a great block here, but 87, Bauman does a nice job of sustaining his block. Look at 7 as well. C.J. Daniels. These receivers from Miami do a heck of a job of blocking and allowing an 8 or 10-yard gain to go for 15, 20 or more. Just keeps that corner sharp outside, and then Fletcher does such a good job of getting downhill. So 20 yards rushing in the entire first half and 57 on that carry alone.
Longest run of Fletcher's career. Suddenly a 3-point game here in Miami. Fletcher's given this team life for Miami. He's not just the top running back. He really is the emotional leader, a pillar of the program, says Mario Cristobal.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Speaking to him, he's just a guy, you get done talking to him, you get fired up about football. He just loves the game, loves his teammates, has already decided to come back next year to play for the Hurricanes. So he is all in.
Here's Linda.
And here's his mom after that touchdown.
Thank you for wearing a mic tonight.
Yeah. Anybody who's a parent can feel that passion, that love for their kid after a big moment. That was so cool to see and hear that.
You do a lot for your kids, but you drive 18,000 miles in a football season in a car now. We're talking car.
I know.
10,000 alone in the CFP, Kurt.
I know. That's so impressive.
Think about that. College Station, Texas, back to Lauderdale. Dallas, back to Lauderdale. Arizona,
that's the thing.
Back, and she finally gets a 12-minute drive.
Yeah.
From her house.
If anybody earned it, she earned.
Now, the Indiana team, which has responded so well this season, will have to do so again. Molly?
Well, Mark Fletcher Jr.'s day began with a text to his late father, as he does before every single game. Fletcher texted his dad at 5:45 this morning saying, "Good morning, Dad. Be with me, boss man. I love you." Mark Fletcher Sr. passed away October 2024, and his son keeps him alive in everything he does. Keeps his old cell phone just so he can text Dad before games and on hard days. You see LLBM on his eye bag. That is long live Big Mark. And his dad, Mario Cristobal, says has the best seat in the house, and he sure did for that touchdown, Chris.
Beautiful stuff, Molly. Indiana back to work. Can they break in tackles? Still running. And out across the 40. These guys have been tough to tackle all season long, and Miami hasn't done a good job tonight.
Yeah, outside stretch play. We haven't seen a lot of those tonight from this Indiana offense, but what a great response after that touchdown. Really good blocking by Nowakowski. And then we see Omar Cooper, number 3, also working at that second level. So we saw Miami get a big gain, and now IU comes back with tight end and receiver blocking as well.
And be a quiet night, only 8 yards until that 15-yard burst. Left side, spun down after about a 4-yard gain.
National championship, it is still momentum swings back and forth. After Miami's defense got Mendoza off the field with Bain's hustle play, you could just sense, even before the touchdown, momentum kind of shifting. Then the touchdown. It's a big possession for Mendoza in this IU Hoosier offense.
Emby again off the right side. Picks up about 3. It'll set up 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, throughout the CFP, Indiana's been in control. You go back to the regular season, the reason I think a lot of people fell in love with this Indiana team, they're battle tested. Went to Iowa City. There's Moton coming off there with Olympic. He's had a great first half, but they went to Iowa City. They went to Penn State, beat Ohio State in Indianapolis. They've been tested, but the last couple games, they have not.
Moton had a low ankle sprain against Ohio State. He's been playing through pain the last couple of playoff games. So he's not in there to anchor the middle of this D-line on 3rd and 3. Mendoza looks to throw, gets it out, and it's bobbled and incomplete. Surratt had his hands on it, normally very reliable. Dropped the ball, and Indiana facing a 4th and 3 at their 47, and here comes the punt team.
Yeah, really good job of seeing it with Mendoza on 3rd down. Keontae Scott brought the blitz on his left side, right over top of Surratt. He saw it. Surratt does the right thing, is sitting down, right, give him a big target, just never quite able to hold on to the ball, and eventually Torrey knocked it away.
Had 2 chances to catch it. The punch out, I think, when Torrey made that incompletion, and Miami does get another stop. McCarthy, high boot. Tony steps up and makes the fair catch at the 11-yard line. So Beck and the Canes back to work, down by 3. The College Football Playoff National Championship trophy's been hanging around all week. Later tonight, one of these two teams will raise it as the confetti falls. Some of the Indiana students dressed for the occasion here. Taco Bell bringing the Liv Mas Student Section of the Year contest to the CFP, providing tickets to students from both schools. Nice to get tickets from Taco Bell because there's the most expensive championship game get-in price I've ever seen. More than $4,000 for the nosebleeds here.
No doubt.
And a lot more than that for the
seats
down close.
Right here.
Miami now just a 3-point deficit. Starts from the 12. Fletcher right back out there. They feed him. Crimson jerseys surround him for no gain.
Remember, that movement up front in that first half really affected the Miami offensive line and trying to get Mark Fletcher started. Now, he had the big carry where they went more outside. I think they came into this game thinking, we got to go inside zone, duo, inside between the guards to be effective against this Indiana team. Teams that try to go wide often go backwards. But that outside stretch play with Fletcher ended up being a big one for a touchdown.
Offensive coaches call it junking up the front. Nick Saban thought Miami's O-line would be well equipped to handle that, but it's been a challenge tonight. That throw is too low for Tony. It'll be 3rd and long.
A good job of moving him around, keeping his defense guessing. He actually had some space out there, but Carson Beck just unable off to his left, put that ball on that backside shoulder. We can make a play on it. 0 for 6 tonight on 3rd down.
Hoosier fans here in Miami on their feet. Trying to make it tough on Beck. Across the middle, Daniels can't come up with it. Jamari Sharp was in coverage. And the Canes go 3 and out.
Chris, they go away from Pons, try to find a matchup that they like, and they got the matchup that they do like. Daniels going up against Sharp. It's a bang-bang play. Bill gave us the clean, like it's okay.
It's just good, though, if you can get away with it and grab a receiver's arm so he can't get it up to touch the ball. That's how they coach it.
And they do. They do. When you look at it in frame by frame, it's interference. But on the field with the officials, that's a good play by the DB.
Dylan Joyce in his end zone. It's a line drive point away that Brady's going to watch bounce out of bounds. Not a great one. And Indiana's going to be set up near the 43-yard line. I'm Kirk, the 39th annual WWE Royal Rumble. January 31st, Saudi Arabia. Cody Rhodes will be there. You can stream it exclusively on ESPN, unlimited plan, live or on demand using the app. 2 o'clock Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on the 31st. You vowed to get me to a WrestleMania one
We got to go. We got to go. I went last year with Allie.
Do it.
Sat in the front row, and I was mesmerized by the entertainment. I really was. We'll go this year.
Indiana after a strong defensive stop. From the 43, Mendoza pressured again, and he will go down again. Akeem Mesidor, his pass rush has become furious in the 3rd quarter.
Johnny is in right now for Khalil Benson and has been the entire second half, 72. He just goes around him. Again, you get caught up with Ruben Bain in that spot, but they're moving these defensive linemen around to try to create matchups that are more favorable. He almost did that kind of frog jump almost with his left hand on the football to knock it away from Mendoza. Lucky to hold on to that.
Very good hand strength. That looked like Mesidor would be able to force that ball out. 2nd and 18. Elon Black powers forward. And still running hard. Gets back most of the yards from the sack and sets up 3rd and 12.
Yeah, he's backs both of them. You don't know if one's in there or 8's in there, but they both run exactly the same. And, that's why you'll see they get behind the sticks. They still get behind that offensive line, and these backs just keep moving their feet, bouncing around, trying to hide from defenders. They got a shot here now on 3rd and long. Let's watch for Ruben Bain. He's going to now go back to the offense's right side. Mesidor will be on the blind side.
Better believe Mendoza's thinking get the ball out quickly.
Yep.
Play clock at 5. Miami doesn't bring extra pressure this time, and the ball is out. Surratt tried to make one of those back shoulder catches right in front of the Indiana bench. Hoosiers wanted a flag on Frederic, did not get one. Boy, this has been so different since Xavier Lucas came back on the other corner.
Yeah, they're tightening up the coverage. Frederic here, watch again. Watch him, he's almost expecting that back shoulder fade. Bill, what are your thoughts on this one? He's been handsy most of the night.
Both of them, though. Both of them are grabbing on each other.
And because his head is turned to the quarterback, I feel like you guys are allowing that a little bit more, right?
They're letting them play on pass situations tonight.
I got no problem with that.
Mutual combat. That's what you taught us, mutual combat the other week, right?
I didn't want to repeat that, but yes.
Tony back. He'll catch the ball at the 5. Risky move. Spun down after a 2-yard return. And Miami once again is going to be pinned back deep. A 54-yard boot by McCarthy. Devin Boykin made the stop. Riley Nowakowski, a wrinkle here. The tight end runs it in from fullback. And then in the third quarter, Mark Fletcher, career-long 57-yard race. Miami's defense has stepped up after halftime. But Indiana pins the Canes deep at the 7 for this possession. Midway third quarter. Not much from the Hurricanes passing game. Beck just 54 yards, 7 completions. Tony's been held in check. 4 receptions, all of them short. Option 1 is Mark Fletcher off the left side. Bulldozes, earns 3 yards the hard way.
We get deeper into this second half. The battle up front is going to be fascinating to watch. Both these teams, again, pride themselves on being the most physical team. This is where you really get tested physically and mentally.
Some tempo from the Hurricanes. Empty backfield on second down. Beck looks left. Ooh, dangerous throw. Threw it right into the vicinity of Aiden Fisher, who got his hands on it, and Isaiah Jones was right there.
Yeah, let's watch Jones. Remember I said they don't bring in a nickel very often? Jones has to have that kind of versatility. He's playing out in space like a nickel. He blitzes the quarterback a lot. He's able to get pressure on him. This time, heck of an athletic play there to get airborne to keep that ball away from Keelan Marion.
All year long, tremendous job of preparation on this Indiana defense. They are all over team's receivers. Concede very little. Pressure for Beck up the middle, gets it out. Tony's got the ball, but not enough. Wrestled down immediately by Lewis Moore. They continue to feed Tony, but nowhere to run after the catch once again.
Not at all, and I think Aiden Fisher deserves some of this credit as well. Watch him walked up tight, showing blitz. Now he drops. Now he's looking for the potential to make a play, and he knows exactly who wants to be able to, where they want to get the ball, and that's to Fletcher. Great job there of just, or Tony rather, great job of just kind of anticipating that. The connected cam from AT&T shows you that they do a nice job of keeping him short of the first down.
Fisher was there, did a good job getting an arm, maybe slowing down
just
Tony.
Enough.
Just enough
yep.
to let Moore get there. So Dylan Joyce back on. Blocked! Indiana blocks the punt and falls on it for a touchdown! Isaiah Jones on the recovery.
I mean, if you're an Indiana fan, Mikhail Kamara made so many plays a year ago. Hasn't had as many as far as the stats are concerned. And now in the biggest moment, in the biggest stage, the veteran and the leader, one of the JMU transfers, comes around that right side, gets a hand out, and blocks this punt for this touchdown.
Blocks in back-to-back playoff games. And the 4th one this season. Mentioned earlier, that's now the 8th block from Kurt Cignetti since he hired Grant Kane as his special teams coach a couple of years ago. It's a weapon, they use it, and they've reclaimed momentum.
Just incredible if you watch this, and how happy are you for this guy, because there's so much pressure to make plays. Comes around that right side. Miami has they got personal protectors there. 87, Bauman just kind of lets him go by. Look at 87, he's right there. Just lets him go by. I don't even think they're in an all-out effort to go get this. I just think he worked around the corner, realized he was in there, and got his left hand in there to be able to knock it down. Jones jumps on top of it for the touchdown.
Mike Black, my spotter, who's our kicking specialist, says 2.25, Kirk. That was too leisurely as he kind of rolled out to his right to get that off.
How about the field position? They were pinned deep inside their own 15-yard line. Complimentary football once again from Indiana, and the special teams get involved.
Mendoza family going crazy up there. Again, mom played tennis at Miami. Dad won a national championship in Miami in his freshman year in crew. But mom fell out of love with the Miami program when they didn't recruit her son. And so when they came calling for Fernando in the portal, he ended up in Bloomington. Yeah, not back home. Enough said.
Not happening. Well, we saw Indiana after the Fletcher run. We saw Indiana with the crowd back in the game for the Hurricanes. They had to respond, and they did. They moved the ball. They got in the field position that was more favorable with special teams. They blocked the punt. And now you flip it over to Miami. Now the Indiana crowd is coming alive. How are the Canes going to respond now? Down 10, 5 minutes to go in the third. Every possession counts for the Hurricanes.
You saw the shocked look on Beck's face. The job just got a lot harder. Very slow developing play. Wanted to take a shot downfield. Flips it down to Fletcher instead, and Fletcher fights for 8. They just have not been able to consistently stretch the field, Kirk. It's really been a problem now in all 4 of the playoff games for Miami.
Yeah, it's been, well, and again, against this defense, it's going to be tough. I mean, they take that away, theoretically, with the scheme by just trying to keep everything in front. He missed Malachi Toney. If he would have just looked into the middle of that defense, he had him open.
Fletcher around the right end, breaks free. Fletcher still stepping out of tackles. Picks up another chunk of yards out across the 35.
How many backs do you see in college football anymore that have this build? 6'2", 230 pounds as a tailback. There's that stiff arm with the length that he has, able to keep Fisher at bay. There's another great block by Malachi Toney. Another block there by Keelan Mayer, or actually C.J. Daniels, to get him to that second, third level, that IU defense.
He has a breather as Marty Brown comes in. They fake the pitch to him, and Beck pitches downfield, and it's incomplete. Broken up beautifully by D'Angelo Pons, who arrived in time to dislodge it from Bowman. What a game he's playing.
He's playing great. You know, he's known for his ability to cover, but this time, because he's playing with zone eyes, he's able to respond and play. That looks like shoulder to shoulder to me, Bill. I don't see any contact at all.
No, he did watch up, but nothing to the head neck area. It looked like it was all in the shoulder.
Yeah, I'm so gun shy. I get so nervous when any defender makes a play on a receiver. I'm just waiting for a flag to come in. I'm glad we didn't see one there.
Worth mentioning that he's 5'9", 173. Plays with a ton of heart. Always will have a chip on his shoulder, he says, because people have overlooked him because of his size. Didn't have a lot of offers. One of those guys who went to JMU. Signetti spotted his talent and then makes the journey to Bloomington.
And you're talking about specifically with the 2025 Indiana Hoosier team, the secret sauce of who they are. Not just the JMU guys, but you go through this lineup and you look at guys and where they transferred from. Texas State, Kent State, Navy. These guys feel disrespected, and it's a collective group that plays with that big chip on their shoulder.
Miami had been on a roll on third downs in the last couple of games, but not tonight. 0 for 8 as Beck tries to scramble and create on the move. Steps back, still trying to buy time. Right downfield, Daniels works free. C.J. Daniels waited for his quarterback to finally spot him. Play to the 35, picks up 24 yards.
What a job of working with his quarterback, C.J. Daniels. I want to try to show you where he is. He's right here, but watch this effort because his quarterback's going everywhere. He's to the right, he comes back to the left, and then he's finally able to separate and pull away from Sharp. And how about the job there by Carson Beck identifying where to go to the ball. We saw that against Ole Miss when he looked backside and found an open receiver for a touchdown, and that's their first conversion on third down, and a big play by Beck.
Now Beck, screen, and like Joshua Trader, they put a knee down when he made the catch.
Yeah, that ball was thrown a little bit more upfield. It makes me think that because we haven't seen a ton of Moore, he's a true freshman, maybe he runs this route not at the right depth, so the timing and accuracy off a bit there. You can see he was expecting him to be in a different spot, so it's a little thing, but it affects the yards after the catch. Now, that had a chance to be a big one if the timing was right.
Tony comes in motion. They pitch it to him. He has a block. Malachi Tony takes off and races down to the 12-yard line. Got a block from Keelan Marion.
Yeah, we talk about this a lot. The motion's important because it's going to create the space. But there's the block by Zero right there. Keelan Marion. He was the hero last week, coming up with a bunch of big catches against Ole Miss. 7 for 114 and a touchdown. And now the unselfish approach. Boy, he looked more fired up about that block than he did the touchdown last week with the energy that he showed after making that block. So, heck of a job and good job of getting the ball to 10 in space.
And the first time he's been able to create yards after the catch.
5 seconds.
Fletcher back in the game. They snap it at 2. They feed Fletcher off the left side, and he plows for about 3. You're right, there was serious urgency. Suddenly the block punt, that's a lightning strike for Indiana to go back up 10. And Miami has gone to work here. Bad field position, but they moved it 72 yards.
Now it gets tough down in this red zone area. Indiana #1 in the country at defending and preventing touchdowns in the red zone area. What can Miami come up with here to try to get 7 instead of 3?
Miami decent, but not great in these situations this year. Fletcher breaks free. Fletcher, tough to tackle, just falls forward. He's just short of the marker at about the 3.
Chris, he had a jump cut in the middle of that play and right at the line of scrimmage. Just so natural. Well,
we got a fourth quarter here. Canes threatening to tighten this game up with 15 minutes to play. The national championship on the line here in Miami. You're watching the College Football Playoff National Championship presented by AT&T. Set for the final quarter. The CFP National Championship presented by AT&T. Indiana trying to complete one of the great seasons we've ever seen in this sport, up by 10. But Miami has responded after the block punt and driven it 78 yards, setting up a 3rd and 1. 10th play of the drive coming up, Kirk.
Incredible job here of answering. We talked about before the drive started, how would they respond after that block punt deep in their own territory, and they so far have. Let's see if they convert here on this 3rd and 1.
7 offensive linemen in there. 7 O-linemen and a tight end. Fletcher walks in. Miami touchdown. What a response. Linda's son's got 2 tonight.
Wow, you just talked about it. 10 plays, 81 yards, response from the block punt. They used Malachi Tony on that orbit motion to kind of catch the defense's eyes. We'll show you in a second how effective that was. So instead of just trying to pound it in there for the yard, that right side opened up, and he's able to just kind of walk into the end zone. But that motion really affected things.
Davis makes it a 3-point game. Beck has some things going there. It was a 25-yard play to Daniels was the big play of the drive.
Yeah, you go back to really getting back to the bread and butter. Offensive line, running game with #4, great blocks on the perimeter. He is determined with the way he's running the football. This is what you alluded to, the 3rd and 6. Somehow scrambling around. Heck of a job by Daniels to get away from Jamari Sharp. And then you get a screen, get the screen, get it going to Malachi Tony. Picks up a beautiful block right there by Keelan Marion. Then we get to the AT&T connected cam clicker. Watch the motion coming from the left to the right. You see the 2 defenders responding. Watch 4. See, he sees the motion. See a defensive back coming as well. They both go with Malachi, concerned with him potentially getting some kind of jet sweep, but instead they got a touchdown for Fletcher.
I mean, moms everywhere. You have to appreciate the sacrifices you make for your kids, the lengths you go to just to be there for every moment in his career, and Linda having a night.
The second half's been a different story for Mark Fletcher, different story for the Miami Hurricanes, different story for his mom. Everybody's happy if you're a Hurricane, but now your defense has got to go back out there again against Mendoza and the Hoosiers.
This cool, clear night in Miami. Aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear. Tried, tested, proven, legendary.
Well, I said that Miami defense has to come out here against Mendoza. They sure have had answers with tighter coverage. Xavier Lucas back after being out the first half. Not able to play after that targeting call in the Ole Miss game. So he is back. They've been tighter in coverage. They've sacked Mendoza 3 of his 6 dropbacks. And they've got him off the field 3 times. This offense has been, they've punted 3 times with 3 possessions.
Yeah, he's 0 for 3, so 3 pass attempts and 3 sacks. That's what's happened. We talked about since intermission, a dramatic change. But he's responded all season long. Never flinched. Been at his best when he's needed to be. This is one of those moments. Black beginning to do a better job containing the Indiana running backs. Chase Smith made that tackle.
Yeah, and I think what's happening is the interior of this Miami defensive line is just holding the point. They're not able to get up to those linebackers of Corey Heatherman, and these linebackers are clean. They're getting downhill, able to help out in that interior run game. Remember, their whole goal as the Canes defense is win those early downs and try to get Mendoza into those obvious passing situations to get Mesidor and Bain going.
Second down run again. Black bursting free. Just running through arm tackles. First down across the 40.
I can watch this guy run the football all day. I just love his style. I love how he runs so determined, running through arm tackles. The left tackle, Carter Smith, had his best block of the night, able to sustain a very, very tough and challenging block against Justin Scott. He had to hold it for a while with his backside to the hole, which gave Black a chance to get downhill for that first down.
Black, 24 years old. Hemby's 23, representative of the way Indiana has built this team with very experienced, well-traveled players. A dangerous throw on the edge. Ethan O'Connor almost jumped the route in front of Cooper.
Well, he's been doing this all night. He sees cushion. He thinks it's free access. Let's take it. It's an alert. Look at the reaction, how quickly 24 drove down on that football. Almost as if he's baiting him. If I go off, he's going to think he's open. He's going to take this throw. I'm going to jump it, try to get in front of it. So good job of recognizing that, almost baiting it by Ethan O'Connor.
Still looking for his first completion after halftime is Mendoza. And there it is to the edge. Cooper has some blockers. Over Cooper with his quick burst. Good help on the edge from his teammates, and the gain is 19.
Well, Miami was confused. They were trying to get enough defenders out there. You can see that they're kind of looking around, making calls. The problem is you got 3 against 2. 2 to be able to make the block, as you'd expect. Nowakowski's out there to be able to make that block. And, you know, much like we talk about on the other side with Tony, Cooper doesn't need a whole lot of room. With those blocks, easily able to get first down yardage.
Hemby back in at tailback. Indiana trying to answer Miami's answer. Off the play fake, Mendoza will take off. Darts up into heavy traffic. Mesidor and Bain combine on the stop. He picked up 1.
Gotta believe that not blocking Ruben Bain was definitely not part of the strategy here. 37, Nowakowski comes down. And there's just, you know, there's just a bust on that right side of the offensive line. I don't know if they were trying to just kind of bait Bain to maybe collapse and hit that slide route quickly to Cooper, but the play just completely blows up. Lucky to get some positive yards.
Right tackle has been a problem tonight for Indiana. They're trying to survive it. There's a second down run from Hemby. Bangs forward. Wrestled down after about 4.
It's one thing to put yourself in position to make the tackle, and then you get that energy that Black runs with, and you're just holding on for dear life. You better bring it to him, even though he's he's not the tallest, but he's 211 pounds, and he's a strong guy, and he runs with that power. You got to get low, and you got to really try to meet force with force when he runs the football. Huge play here.
Need 5 on third. Mendoza delivers downfield. Cooper didn't see the football. Covered by O'Connor. Hoosier fans wanted a flag.
Oh, they should have gotten it. Ethan O'Connor. You know, Keontae Scott and Connor, they switch at the last second. In fact, Scott called for it to be a switch, and that doesn't show it as much, but I was watching it live. He grabbed onto the shoulder pad. Yeah, that's a definite hold right there.
Going to go for it here, Kirk. 4th and 5 at the Miami 37. Got to hurry, though. Finally huddling up. 8 on the play clock. Not organized. Obviously, Cignetti spends a timeout there. They made the decision to go for it. They're very much in fringe field goal range for Radicic, their regular kicker. And we'll see if they keep the offense on the field. We come back. 11-28 in the 4th quarter. And what a big moment here in this championship game. 4th and 5 at the Miami 37. Out of range for Niko Radicic, their regular kicker. Cignetti wouldn't trust him from this distance. It would be about a 54 yard or so. The offense is out there.
And at the very least, with the way penalties have been an issue at critical times for Miami, do you go hard count? You know, you're sitting here at 4th and 5. Do you go hard count, try to draw them, and then still have a play in your back pocket?
It is something of a gamble. A lot of coaches would punt Miami deep. Mendoza, ball in his hands. Sideline pitch. Becker comes back to make a catch. They've done that a million times at practice. It's been a struggle tonight. That was well executed.
Yeah, back shoulder. They do it all the time. Surratt usually makes these plays. Becker's showing you he's got the ability as well against O'Connor. Timing, the ball was in the air. He comes back perfectly. Look at those hands by Becker. Inbounds for the big first down for Indiana.
Blazing speed. Rated contested catches. Not a single drop all season. That's where you go to him on 4th and 5.
Right.
Black. What a play. Pitch and catch by the Heisman Trophy winner to the receiver who has come on strong after a very quiet first half of the season. Rarely involved at all in the first 7 games.
That's right. That's right. And then when Surratt had an injury, he got an opportunity. And then once he got those opportunities the last 6 games, they've just not been able to take him off the field. And he is a massive weapon at 6'4", has such great length, and the fastest player on the Indiana roster, over 22 miles an hour.
Made his name on special teams. Black. In the heavy traffic, it'll set up 3rd down and medium.
They did really a good job of spreading that Miami defense out in man-to-man coverage. They knew exactly what they wanted. When you defend Indiana, there's 2 things that come out: slot fade and the back shoulder. Those are the 2 things you know are coming. You just don't know when they're coming. You practice them all week with good eyes. And then on the most pivotal play of the game, they convert on 4th down on the back shoulder.
Another really pivotal play, though, Kurt. Miami forces a field goal attempt. It's a 1-score game. Indiana punches it in. Huge. Double digits again. Mendoza across the middle, too high. Trying to find E.J. Williams. It was O'Connor in coverage, and Miami will apparently force a field goal attempt here.
Yeah, in college football, when you see man-to-man and you got a corner you think you can attack, and this right now, they're going after O'Connor. 24. They've gotten him a few times. Could have been for a holding call. And this time, you know, you're wondering as well, they find those matchups. But they are eyeing 24 without a doubt. Oh, no, they're going to use another timeout here.
Yeah, they waited a long time. I was thinking, wait a second.
What's
is he going to go for this?
I was wondering
4th and 7? Well, wait a second. But he decided late to run the field goal team out. There wasn't nearly enough time on the play clock to get things settled. Wouldn't that have been your reaction?
Yeah.
To go for it again?
Yeah. There's no way he's going to get. Well, you brought it up. If they can get another touchdown, it's make it a 2-possession game. It's worth thinking about. So here's some
Davis in 50.
Yeah. Missed field goal with Fletcher touchdown. Canes are finally on the board. We had a block punt by Kamara. Jones jumps on. They go back up by 10. The Canes respond, cut it to 3 with another Fletcher touchdown. And now we got Indiana converting on a 4th down to keep this drive alive. And now Cignetti talking about it. Looks like he has determined that they're going to go for this. And I think that what's at stake and the potential of going up by 2 possessions, maybe too much to pass up, and you worst case pin them inside the 15 if you don't get it.
Well, I mean, the same number, Mendoza and Radicic, the kickers, both number 15s. We're trying to figure out who do you want out there.
No, Cignetti made up his mind. You could tell, probably talked to the analysts and said, guys, we got a chance here to go up by 2 possessions with 9:27. I think it's worth the chance.
Miami had to get the field goal block team off to get some pass rushers back on there. Here we go. Got to get to the 8. He's going to take off and run. Mendoza weaves his way, first and goal, diving toward the end zone. Touchdown! That's why he won the Heisman Trophy.
What a call. What a call by Curt Cignetti and the offensive coordinator, Mike Shanahan. Quarterback draw. He definitely breaks the plane, holds on to the football for a touchdown. What an individual effort, as you said, Chris, by the Heisman Trophy winner.
Very, very few design runs had not been a part of the plan. Cignetti and Mike Shanahan dial it up on 4th and 5. A 4th down touchdown. Indiana back up 10.
Unreal. Follows his blockers. Drew Evans leads his way in there. Also gets behind Kalon Black. But really, it was about what Mendoza was determined to do. Back at his home city would not be denied.
There's his dad. You see his coach signaling touchdown. That's way out of character.
National Championship is presented by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. And in part by Modelo, the mark of a fighter, and Taco Bell.
There's a 4th down touchdown. AT&T connecting clicker cam.
Yeah, let's check this out. Again, you're going to get a great block here and a great block here. But watch how the safeties shoot down. Watch how they try to help out. There's the good blocks. Look at this safety right here coming down. Look how this safety is late. That's Jacoby Thomas. If Jacoby Thomas pulls down the way Poyser is, then he doesn't have as much area to be able to run, eventually build up that momentum and get into the end zone. But converting a 4th and 5, they go for it on 4th and 4 on that drive alone to be able to make this a 2-possession game.
When Mendoza paid the price, Kirk, he took a shot before he went airborne, and then he took another shot as he was in the air before landing in the end zone. Flag comes in on the return here. And now another one thrown. It's going to be a hold on Miami, it looks like.
Yep.
Which once again will back them up with poor field position. Down 10 again, 9:11 to play.
During the return, holding number 22, receiving team, 10 yards, half the distance to the goal. Still 1st down.
Here's Max Mendoza, Fernando and Alberto's younger brother, reacting to Big Brother's touchdown.
What a moment. What a moment.
One Mendoza brother and then a whole bunch of kids with Mendoza jerseys on up there.
What an effort.
He was wobbly, by the way. You see Assembly Hall in Bloomington.
I've wanted to see this shot all week.
17,000.
I mean, you think of all the hoops championships and Bobby night, and now here they are in Assembly Hall, sold out, watching this football team up 10 with 9:11 to go in the 4th quarter.
This is Bedlam here. The Hoosier faithful who dominate this end of the field, making a really tough one back. From the goal line, flip short, Tony breaks free. Malachi Tony always so dangerous with the football. Elijah Hardy held on. It's a 9-yard gain.
Yeah, this is where having a quarterback that's making his 43rd career start comes in handy. Good job of not being impatient, trying to force it. Just checked it down, got 8 yards.
Miami playing, obviously, with tempo down 2 scores. What an enormous call. Offense on the field. Then he sends the field goal team out, but running out of time, calls the timeout, puts the offense back on the field.
Yep. And he was determined. Everybody's going to talk to him about that decision, and whether he got it or not, I think all of us can understand the logic behind why he would go for that. And by the way, they pinned Miami inside their own 20 the last 4 possessions. Miami started their own 12, their own 7, their own 19, and now their own 8.
And the penalty responsible for the poor field position on this possession. Can't afford to grind out a long drive here. Back all kinds of time. Fires downfield, and it's incomplete. Trying to find Keelan Marion, who made a huge impact in the Fiesta Bowl. Hasn't done so tonight. Well covered again.
Yeah, they rush 3. They drop 8. You can see he's back there holding the ball forever because there's just nobody open. Everybody's covered. Finally, Marion just decides to try to work with him. He happened to make eye contact with him. He actually got it in. The ball just went right through the hands of Marion, who's done a good job transferring over from BYU, more of a specialist. He wanted to come to Miami to become more of a wide receiver, a complete player, and has demonstrated that.
He had 2 years at UConn, 2 years with the BYU Cougars before landing here. 2nd and 10, backpedals, launches downfield. That's Marion again, and comes back and tried to make a catch. They're ruling complete. Pons covered him. Weird play because he didn't spot the ball until just the last second.
Yeah, he kind of backhands the ball, and I think he initially caught it, and then as he went to the ground, I think the ball pops out and hits the surface. Watch him backhand that, and then the ball gets loose. I looked at first when he went up that he somehow came down with it right there, and then it came out.
So 2 chances to make plays. Haynes can't do it. Now it's 3rd and 10.
Indiana walking up pressure, trying to disguise who's coming, try to affect the offensive line and their communication.
It works.
Yep.
There's a flinch.
False start, number 63. Offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's why that gutsy call on the touchdown was so huge. Yep. Now, Miami with a 3rd and 15. Cristobal would not want to have to punt it away, but you almost have to if you don't make the first down here, don't you?
Yeah, you do. And you wonder, he's sitting in that stance as an offensive lineman. Look where they are. The loudest part of this stadium as far as Indiana Hoosier fans.
Their home stadium.
Yeah.
Beck has time against the late rush, and he delivers a strike. Alex Bauman, the tight end, found space and picked up 22.
Boy, he did put such a nice touch on this ball. And Bauman, who worked outside off of that motion, just sat right behind the linebackers. He put it right over top of them.
Beck again, delivers across the middle. It's Tony. Malachi Tony splitting defenders and weaving his way deep into Hoosier territory. And just like that, with 2 plays, Miami's still in the hunt.
And I really think this tempo is affecting the communication of Indiana. This is a disciplined defense that very rarely gives you very much to work with as far as the spatial recognition there by Carson Beck. He's not used to seeing that. They've done such a good job of taking away Malachi Tony downfield with bracket coverage inside and outside. He just hasn't had a lot of room to run after the catch. That time he did with this tempo.
41-yard play. Hoosiers did a great job early on containing number 10. Now he's getting loose. Beck off the hands of Fletcher, and that's a dangerous play. So many interceptions for Indiana. And plays just like that this season.
Yeah, every route was at about 5 yards. Nobody was downfield. And instead of just giving up on the play, he was determined to try to at least get some positive yards, try to sneak it in to Fletcher. Very crowded where he tried to throw that, again, with 8 dropping in coverage.
No turnovers tonight for either team. Miami inside of 7 minutes. Essential to come away with points on this drive.
Tony in the backfield there.
He's got it on the pitch. Tony breaks free. Malachi Tony spinning, scoring! Is there a more exciting player in this sport?
This is really an outside stretch play. You know, I mentioned he was in the backfield. This is really an outside zone run to the right with Malachi Tony. Good job by the offensive line. Just a different wrinkle with the formation. But he is so instinctive as a ball carrier. You see it when he catches the ball downfield. You see it now in the backfield as a running back.
How great, Kirk, has his second half become? We got 5 touchdowns after halftime. The last 2 teams standing in the center of the ring fight for this championship, just throwing punches and taking punches from each other. Malachi Tony makes it a 3-point game again. 6:37 left.
You go back to the fourth quarter, some of these games where Mendoza has had to make plays at Iowa against the Hawkeyes. This is not a dominant game. He needed to step up in the fourth quarter and did. At Eugene, early in the year, needed to make plays, stepped up, did it there. We all know about what happened against Penn State. Omar Cooper with a foot down. What a drive there to culminate that comeback win. And then tonight, with a draw, 4th and 5, another fourth quarter, he's got to make a play. This is where this guy plays his best. What determination to get it into the end zone for that touchdown. And he's not done yet. We've still got 6:37 to go.
Yeah, those 3 games on the road when he threw interceptions, responded with a touchdown pass and spectacular drives each time. And Indiana, for the first time in this playoff, is being pushed and tested, romping through their first 2 games, in charge for most of this first half. But Miami has forced this man to step up and show his mettle.
Let's show what he can do. What a job of just each team. We keep wondering, can they answer? Can they respond? Mendoza does. Can they answer? The Miami Hurricanes respond. Carson Beck does. Indiana now working with a 3-point lead. Only have the 1 timeout. Canes still have all 3 as we get ready for crunch time here with 6:37 to go.
Hemby fights for a couple. And Indiana lean on this running game here. Can they grind it out the way they did pretty consistently in the first half? It's been tougher after halftime.
Yeah, this is a boxing match where it's not the knockout, Mike Tyson knockout punch. It's going up against a guy that's working your body, and he's scoring a lot of points back and forth. And now you're in that last round, right? Can you endure all those body blows and now fight back in the line of scrimmage at that defensive line spot?
Lee off the right side. Falls forward to the 30. It'll set up 3rd and 5. Bain made yet another tackle.
Boy, Ruben Bain, I thought that ball might bounce outside of him. He went up against Noah Kowski, 37, and watch what he does to be able to hold the point. Just throws him. It's almost like he gets fed up with him. Just throws 37 off of him to make that play to set up this 3rd down. Remember, Becker, they got a lot of options. Becker is in the slot at that bunch. He's kind of at the apex there.
Cooper comes across in motion, now goes back. Mendoza rolls that way. Pitches it short. Nice play design. Cooper just enough to confuse the defense. They convert on 3rd down. Move it to the 45 with a 15-yard gain.
Yeah, I'm just so surprised that the defense didn't respond better to Cooper. You can see there's confusion. They're trying to get on the same page. Nobody. Little yo-yo back and forth. They didn't communicate. Lucky they didn't get a penalty there out of bounds. But see how the defense, the secondary, doesn't respond to this. Again, once again, 3 Indiana receivers, only 2 Miami Hurricanes out there.
Toussaint was trying to get guys organized at the last minute. Secondary did not respond. Huge conversion. Cooper in motion again. They feed Black off the left side. They'll take that gain on first down. Picked up 5.
That time they use Cooper in motion. Release him right inside, right about at the left tackle. He gets up about that second level, is able to work on that safety, give him a little bit more positive yardage. Indiana always getting that 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5, 3rd and 2. That's when they're playing their best in this style of offense.
Nowakowski in the backfield. Black to the right of Mendoza on this 2nd down run. He's hitting the backfield and he's dropped. That time Bassett came straight downhill. It's a 2-yard loss. Sets up 3rd and 7 now.
Yeah, Bassett ended up getting through, but they also walk a safety up. Watch Bassett here, but watch the safety. Because that safety showed up, it affected Pat Coogan, the center. He couldn't take both of them. He ended up taking the safety, and that freed 31 to be able to shoot a gap and get into the backfield.
Here we go again. Can Mendoza one more time produce on 3rd down? Clock nearing 3 minutes.
Big matchup right here.
Some confusion. Week 2 in the play clock. Mendoza pitches downfield. Becker makes the catch again in front of O'Connor. Nobody stopped that all year consistently.
And not tonight either. They keep going after 24 O'Connor, and they keep going back to that back shoulder fade. This was not his best throw, but it's a heck of an effort by Becker. That's just a fade that's bringing him back. That's not a back shoulder at all. It was designed to be. But because Becker has such good feel for this play, he's able to adjust and kind of control his body in the air and come up with that conversion.
Clock ticking at 2:21. Another 1st down run for Hemby. He's got the edge. Stiff arm. Scoots out of bounds. And it's right near the marker.
How about Omar Cooper? We just showed you that touchdown that he made. Watch him here. He wants to block this safety and make the corner have to tackle. Watch him kind of nonchalant. Now he goes for the safety. Huge collision. And force the corner to have to make that tackle. Great job right there by Omar Cooper. Jacoby Thomas, he didn't know what hit him.
Clock will run down to the 2-minute timeout. Miami does have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Can the Hoosiers put it away with a touchdown, win their first championship? Can Miami force a field goal try, give Beck one more chance? All to play for in the final 2 minutes here of the championship game.
Coming up on the Ram Trucks post game, we will have the live trophy presentation. We'll visit with either a star player or the coach from the winning side, take you all access inside the victorious locker room. Chris, Herbie, what a final game we've got in the college football season. Still 2 compelling minutes remaining.
Absolutely, Scotty. Hoosiers with that 1st down. A touchdown just about seals it. Field goal attempt. Depending on how much time left, we give Miami hope. Hemby is the back. Hemby bursting free, bangs forward for 10. They'll spot him just short of the marker. Actually could work out well for Cignetti.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no need to pick that 1st down up. Make Miami use these timeouts. He's going to call them over, going to use their 1st timeout.
Let's talk about Charlie Becker, who made another back shoulder fade catch there. He's not typical. He was recruited by the previous coach, Tom Allen. So Cignetti comes in, and receivers are pretty much told, move on. This is the one guy, although Becker was in the portal, Kirk, Cignetti said, no, stay and win. But he had to bide his time, mostly a special teamer. including the first half of this season. Look what he's done. Stayed with it, improved, emerged, and become a key guy in the championship game.
It's a great story and kind of an outlier in 2025. And as we move into 2026, Becker, I live in Nashville. He went to Father Ryan High School and had a good career. I don't know if anybody would have ever expected him to become this guy in these last 6 or 7 games. Supposed to be a back shoulder fade. Wasn't the best throw we've ever seen from Mendoza. But as long as you put it up in the air and make your receiver have to come back, you can see O'Connor was lost. Even though he studied his scouting report, knew that critical downs, that's the play they go to, still could not be in position to defend it.
Teammates call him Chuck. Just chuck it to Chuck, right? That's
we just saw it.
Works.
That was a great call. Maybe that's what they call in the huddle.
Beck hoping he gets a chance in his final game as a collegian.
With 2 timeouts, first down pretty much ends the game for Indiana.
Miami unable to prevent a big gain on that first down. You're right, that is crucial now. Whistle.
Yeah, they had movement. I think he had movement on the left side by Indiana's offensive line.
Oh my goodness. Team known for its discipline does not make mistakes like that.
I think it was Carter Smith, 65.
Prior to the snap, false starts. Number 65,
so
offense,
Walter Camp,
5-yard
All-American.
penalty. Second down.
Outstanding left tackle.
Oh yeah.
With a pro future.
Yep. Yeah, you see him on the far left. Just a little, tiny little movement.
First time they've been penalized in the second half, and that moves it back, and suddenly that's a lifeline for Miami's defense.
Yeah, it's huge.
Rangers can still finish the job here, though. Hemby, no, not much, maybe a half a yard, and Cristobal spends another timeout. Ahmad Moten plugged the middle.
Now that interior, the Miami defense often gets overlooked because of Bain and Mesidor on the outside, but they've stepped up on that play.
Capital One rewarding performance. Indiana's gotten big play out of special teams here. This is the block. Mark comes off the edge. Slow developing punt there. Jones falls on it. And then this play, which will live forever in Indiana lore if the Hoosiers hold on and win this. Mendoza taking 2 shots.
Well, I think it's 2 things. It's the play and the effort, but the decision to go for it by Kurt Cignetti. I think if they end up winning the game, that's what we're going to remember about this game is critical moment, brought the field goal unit out, brought him back, put Mendoza out there, and you call quarterback draw on 4th and 4.
You remember the decision. I remember the run, okay? Is that a deal?
I remember both. No, I love the run. I just applaud him for a gutsy call.
Absolutely. He sensed this was the time to go up 2 scores, and then still Miami fought back.
3rd and 5, minute 51. You got a timeout. This Miami defense has been the strength and the backbone of this team all year. Can someone step up and make a play right here to keep the Canes' hopes alive?
Black, nothing. He's stopped immediately. That was Wesley Bassint and Mo Toure. Those 2 linebackers stepped up. Final timeout taken. Field goal attempt coming up.
Yeah, heck of a job up front by this defensive line, eating up those linemen who would love to be able to climb up and get to those linebackers. But you see 31 and 1, both getting downhill, both able to stay clean because of the effort by those defensive linemen. So that little flinch by Carter Smith on 2nd and 1. They're about to just take an easy first down. The game is over. That flinch moves them back to 2nd and 6, eventually 3rd down, and now 4th down to keep them in the game.
Hoosier fans hoping that's not going to come back to haunt them. You say the championship game, sometimes unusual things happen. That guy is absolutely rock solid. Their best offensive lineman, one of the best in the country.
Yeah, Big Ten offensive lineman of the year.
Just a little flinch. Now Radicic, who made it from 34 earlier, tries to give Indiana a 6-point lead from 35 yards out. You wonder if Cignetti thought about it for a second, keeping the offense out there again on 4th down. Field goal knocked right through. So Indiana took 4:50 off the clock, moved it 11 plays, and added 3 to the lead. But Miami and Carson Beck are going to have a chance. The kind of drive he was able to produce against Ole Miss in the Fiesta Bowl. For 20 years, Allstate celebrated every field goal and extra point made at participating universities, donating to the Athletic Scholarship Fund, supporting all student athletes. Thank you, Allstate. Field goals won't do it for Miami. Got to find a touchdown here.
My first thought, as we just saw that flinch and then the Miami defense make the stops, was Carson Beck. Everything that Carson Beck has been through. You know, he leaves Georgia. He deals with the ulnar nerve surgery, which is a massive ordeal. Comes back from that, goes to Miami, falls back in love with the game, fits perfectly into this program, loves his teammates, loves the year he's had, been through a ton of adversity, and now he gets to football. He was over there just hoping for a chance, and he's got it with 1:42, down 6.
The drive against Ole Miss began with some key throws. Put himself in position. He wanted to throw it in the end zone. Nobody open. Ends up running it in from 3 yards out with 18 seconds to go. This drive put Miami in a position to play for this championship. Some clutch deliveries, laser throws on 3rd down.
Yeah, he was all over it, making great decisions, but it came down to this. His 3 receivers went from the left to the right. Man coverage doesn't take off that often unless it's obvious. He saw it. Here's Ray Lewis. He said that after the Ole Miss game, or after the Ohio State game, he said, Ray Lewis told me, hey, go down there and win it for us. And I think he did it again. Round 2. Hey, man, go have some fun. Go down there and win another one for us. This time it's the Natty.
Facing serious crowd noise in their home stadium. Clock was down at 0.
They got it. Delay.
How about these Hoosier fans traveling to Miami, just like they did in a neutral field in Atlanta,
Delay
and making this feel like a road game for Miami.
5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Hey, he wants to reset the play clock, but they were slow in the operation of it. So they start, which is like your worst nightmare when you're in a 2-minute offense with no timeouts. You start with a 5-yard penalty, and of all things, a delay a game.
Of all things in your home stadium, because the crowd is too loud. It's crazy.
Yeah.
4-man rush, Beck, pressured, flips it underhanded there, trying to find it to Bauman, the tight end. Tyreek Tucker had a hold of him there. Got rid of it to avoid the sack.
Yeah, they moved Kamara over the middle of the center. And he brings pressure, creates a one-on-one opportunity where Tucker usually is in the interior himself. He was outside, out wide. So they're moving some guys around with the versatility. There's 6, what I was talking about. And the 95, Tucker almost finishes it. Heads-up play by Beck just to kind of flip it forward towards the tight end.
Sack would have been a disaster there, Miami. Crowd loud again. Tony comes in motion, Beck looking the other way, and he threw it down the seam. C.J. Daniels did not have his head turned. Flags down as they hit Beck after the throw.
Yeah, they hit him hard.
Yeah, Jamari Sharp.
Yep. And I think the
Personal
hit was by
foul,
Landino.
Roughing the passer, number 97. Defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
It's big Mario Landino. Beck kind of up and staggering.
After he threw this football, he gets hit. Bill, what do you think of that one?
I support the roughing the passer call.
Okay. Well, Miami catches a break after it looked like would be an incompletion after the delay of game. You're looking at 2nd and 15, still in the middle of that Indiana fan base, the loudest part of this stadium. So they catch a break, get it out to the 35.
Beck's got to regroup from that big blow and deliver. Miami still 65 yards from the end zone. Underneath, Marty Brown's got it. Brown breaks a tackle. It's a 1st down at the 46. Picked up 11. Clock stops for a moment here.
Again, rushing 3, dropping 8. Everybody is deep. Heck of a job by Beck. Recognizing, just check it down, get that 1st down yardage, stop the clock.
Beck again, nobody open. And fires. High ball, catch made in Indiana territory.
I think
Tony went up high.
Yeah, Tony ends up catching the ball, and Jones, as he hits him, almost secured the ball into his chest as he took him into the ground for the reception.
Beck, long pitch to the sideline, catch made by Daniels, spun down inbounds. by Sharp. Again, no timeouts left. Clock stops momentarily as Mendoza can watch on one knee.
Yeah, Beck has had complete control. Hand signals, everybody on the same page, ready to go. Indiana's going to call a timeout.
That clock had started moving. A few seconds ticked off, and Cignetti wants to spend his last timeout right here. He had burned a couple earlier.
Yeah.
So neither team has a timeout left. How good is this? Back and forth in the second half. And as you said, Carson Beck, both coaches have said this will be a heck of a movie, however it ends. Well, the last 51 seconds of this movie are about to unfold, and somebody's going to have a truly incredible season. The Hoosiers will be 16-0, national champs for the first time, or Miami is going to once again win a fourth playoff game and win their first championship in like a quarter century.
Whoever ends up winning this, it's going to be crazy. Big thing for Indiana. They're going to try to protect the sidelines, keep everything inbounds, keep the clock moving. And if you're Carson Beck, remember, 43 starts in his career. He knows exactly where he needs to go with his football. Right now, he's trying to free up Malachi Toney. But remember, last week, it was Keelan Marion, number 0, who stepped up against Ole Miss at critical moments on the backside to make some big plays over the middle of that defense of Ole Miss.
C.J. Daniels is the veteran presence. He's on the right side, but D'Angelo Pons is across from him. Brown is the back. Beck steps up, delivers downfield, intercepted! Jamari Sharp makes the pick that will clinch Indiana's first national championship.
How about Jamari Sharp, who's from Miami of Florida, went to Northwestern High School, takes advantage of an underthrown ball, had his eyes on it the whole way. I don't know if Carson Beck was expecting him to maybe stay in the flat.
After the interception, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 22, defense, that penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal. His first down, Indiana.
And just like that, Kurt, the potential Hollywood script ends as he tried to find Marion. He did not have his head turned around. It was Sharp who spotted the football.
Yeah, I think he might see middle field safety thinking he's got one-on-one right here. So as he throws it, the safety's going to work over here to help out. Now it's a 2-on-1. The corner knows he has help so he can trail. Doesn't feel the urgency to have to stay upfield with Marion. He knows the safety's coming over. Now he locates the football, staying in zone. Indiana's been doing this all year. That's why they're #1 in turnover margin. They play with zone eyes, meaning they watch the quarterback throw the ball so they can react. It's exactly what Sharp did. And as I said, he's from right here. Went to Northwestern High School. Probably a dream of his to make a play like that.
And Curt Cignetti is going to deliver, and all that swag, all that bravado that he brought to Bloomington and said all things are possible. Why should Indiana football take a back seat? He finds Mendoza. He brings a bunch of guys from JMU. He has a keen eye for talent, and a bunch of experienced veteran guys are going to come out of here with the school's first national title.
I think it's got to be one of the greatest stories we've ever seen in college football. One of the losingest teams in college football history at the start of the year to now the national champions.
A century of futility is forgotten. The Indiana Hoosiers are the kings of college football. Let's hear from Curt Cignetti with Molly McGrath. Molly, if you can hear me.
Coach Cignetti, for the first time ever, the Indiana Hoosiers are national champions. What did it take to get here?
Yeah, it took a lot to get here, but I'll tell you what it took to come out ahead in this game was a lot of guts. I give Miami a lot of credit. They played really hard. We couldn't get anything done couldn't protect quarterback at all. made a few plays and adjustments, but they were back shoulders and a sprint out, got the ball, run game going, made the interception when we had to. A couple fourth down, where we went for it. Mendoza, great run. Took some chances, found a way. Let me tell you, we won the national championship at Indiana University. It can be done, and I'm so happy for our fans. Words can't describe it.
You mentioned that 4th and 5 touchdown run from Fernando Mendoza. What gave you the confidence to make that call?
The coverage before they were in the coverage where that play would work. We put it in for this game. It was quarterback draw, but it was blocked differently. And we rolled the dice and said they're going to be in it again, and they were. We blocked it well. He broke a tackle or two and got in the end zone.
What has your quarterback, Fernando Mendoza, meant to this championship run?
Oh, my God. He's so tough. I mean, he got hit. He had no time. He keeps getting back up, and just a great competitor. And there's no way this gets done without that kind of performance at that position. And I can't say enough great things about him.
Finally, how are you going to celebrate, Coach?
I'm going to have beer.
Enjoy that beer, Coach.
Thank you.
Holly.
Well, Fernando, there was an epic moment in this game. It is the 4th quarter. You're leading by just 3 points, and Coach decides to go for it on 4th down. What did he say to you in that huddle, and how did you execute it?
That's one thing about our team. We're always going to put all on the line. And, I want to give all the glory and thanks to God there. My offensive lineman blocked perfectly, and we're able to execute the team towards a common goal, have the Indiana Hoosiers synergy to score, and then give our team a chance to win the game.
How did you get it in there, though? You had to go airborne, Fernando.
I had to go airborne, and I'll die for my team. Whatever they need me to do, they need me to take, shots from the front and the back, whatever it is, I'm going to die for my team out there, and I know they're going to do the same for me. That's what makes us so close, and that's what makes this national championship so special.
Show my cameraman right there your arm. You can't imagine the beating this young man took last night.
I mean, shout out to Miami defense. You can see why their 2 edges are first-round picks. I mean, it was going to be a physical game. And, we had to play physical, and we did play physical. We elevated it, and it's victory so sweet for everybody, for the entire Hoosier Nation, but also, it's super sweet to myself. I was a 2-star recruit coming out of high school. I got declined to walk on offer to the University of Miami. Full circle moment here playing in Miami for all the friends and family. I can't thank Coach Nettie enough, and Coach Whitmer and Coach Anna for taking a chance on me, and just give all the glory to God.
You've been a little boy sitting in these stands watching people play on this field. How do you describe walking out of here a national champion after all these years?
There's no words. There's no words. This is the most special moment of my life, and I know my teammates either. There's no one else I'd rather do it with.
Thank you, Fernando.
Thank you, guys. God bless.
It would be enough to just win a championship. To come back to Miami and beat the school that did not even offer him as a walk-on. As Signetti said a few weeks ago, it's a hell of a movie, Kirk.
It's unbelievable. They're just everything you'd want to see. Living in the Midwest my whole life, to think that Indiana's in this position, it's almost too good of a story, really. So congrats to the Hoosiers all over the country.
So grateful to bring it to you. Bill Bonnell produced the game. Jimmy Platt directed it. A usual outstanding job from our crew. Operations specialist Sydney Pennington, thanks for work she and her entire team have done all season long. We've got a lot more to come from here in Miami. Indiana joins the club of national champions, the first new team to do that since the Florida Gators in '96. Much more to break down from Hard Rock Stadium as we join now the Ram Trucks post game.